Good evening. How's everybody doing? Hello, howdy. What's up, Benji? Deadbeat. Haven't seen you in a minute. How you doing? Tamai. Zach, how you doing? Soapy Muffins. Welcome, everybody. Diglax, what's up with you? Hitting me with them rhymes. How's everybody doing? Y'all ready to talk about D&D? Are you folks ready to discuss some Dungeons and Dragons? Love your content, Sam. Thanks, Daisy. Days? Is it Days? Dice? About Daisy. What's kicking? Can I ask a D&D question? That's what we're here for, bud. What you got for me? What you got for me? Can we get a Homer Cam progress update? I've got a Homer Cam. I just need to set it up. I've got a cam. Remember, I had to use 2 cameras when I did the miniature painting stream. The thing is, that camera is still in the miniature painting room and it's not in here recording Homer. It's days? I want to play a small character who wears chainmail. Should the armor weigh less? It's a good question. I actually don't know. I would assume that it weighs less. Yeah. But I don't think we have rules for that. I have a Homer Cam. It's just not set up. Okay. Oh. In your assumption, how much should it weigh? Why are you asking me that? I honestly don't know. Benji says 1/8 of the weight for half the height. I don't know. How much should it weigh? Chat, how much should it weigh? How much should a halfling set of chainmail weigh? I'm kind of new to D&D, but I've been DMing lately. I had an interesting problem when playing in a mission. In a session? What happened? Tell me about it. We're gonna give people a chance to get in here. Is the music too loud? I think it's good. I think it's good. Kinda, it was a D&D group. Okay. Probably around 7 pounds. No, I mean percent-wise. I mean, just keep the numbers simple. I don't know. Like me personally, I leave weight up to the player. I would just say that it's, you know what? It would be the same. It'd be the same weight. I'm sorry. I want to retract that. How much? So let me readdress the question. I want to play a small character who wears chainmail. Should the armor weigh less? No. The armor should not weigh less because your strength score determines how much you can carry, regardless of your size. I want y'all to think about that. A gnome with a 12 strength can carry just as much as a half-orc with a 12 strength. So, they probably do that so that you don't have to adjust for weight like that. Your strength score determines how much you carry regardless of your size. So your armor and weapons and etc. shouldn't change either. I never thought about that. I've never given that much thought. It's interesting. That still makes no sense. Why is that? DMs are so scrawny though, Mr. Steely Sam. What's up, Ender? Or scary. Oh, scary. How am I supposed to talk to them? Sometimes you just don't. All right, so why doesn't that make sense? Because when you think about it, I guess I can open up a book, give us something to look at, you know? Let's open up a book, give us something to look at. Right? So if we have, let's see. It's under adventuring, right? Why doesn't that make sense? I don't understand how that doesn't make sense. I feel like that's like crystal clear. I feel like that couldn't make more sense, right? Somebody help me out. What page is talking about character creation? I'm so good at that. Facts. You know, Ender, I meant to tell you yesterday. I was kind of like all up in the game. I was kind of focused on the game. I didn't think about it. I had a really cool interaction. I thought you were going to do the artificer. I had a really cool interaction if you had done an artificer, but you ended up not doing it. It made me really sad. I wrote out something really cool for your artificer, for an artificer. Imagine talking with your DM using communication like a mature adult. It's not happening. It's impossible. This is why D&D players are neckbeards in their basement with no girlfriends, because they don't know how to communicate. Based, spitting facts at you, chat. Sorry. All right, where is it? Oh, is it not in chapter 8? I feel like I need to physically grab the... Oh, maybe it's ability scores. What happens when you transfer an item between characters? That's the thing. Your strength score determines how much you carry. Are you listening to me? If a gnome has a strength of 12, they can carry as much as a half orc with 12. That gnome is as strong as that half orc. Oh, I get what you're asking. You're asking if the gnome takes off their armor and then hands it to the half orc. Okay, that's I mean, at that point, you just kind of have to. At that point, you're just gonna have to either not let them use it. You either have to say the armor is sized, because I think in 3.5 armor was actually sized. So like, this is a small sized chainmail. This is a medium sized chainmail. So rather than have a number, but I don't know, man. That's like really getting nitpicky. Opinion on my chaotic evil medic, alchemist. Rather than being against the party at any point, I just conduct experiments on them so it doesn't really cause issues in the campaign. I don't know, I guess. As long as the players are okay with it. Okay with you experimenting on the characters. I think it's in sizes. Top 10 most sad facts about D&D. If the creature is smaller, wouldn't there be less materials used? Look, y'all are overthinking it. I don't know. I mean, when you buy it, all right, listen. If you buy a t-shirt, all right, it's the same price regardless of the size. Yeah. If you buy a small t-shirt, it's the same as an XL. I don't know. Maybe the weight is just negligible. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, Chad. I don't know. If my players are like, if you're at my table asking that, I'm gonna be like, look, it doesn't matter. It's the same weight. The gnome hands the for some reason the gnome's chainmail is the same as the half orc chainmail. I'm not gonna. What's up, Mockbuster? How you doing? Unless somebody actually, all right. So unless somebody can find me an actual rule on it. Unless somebody can actually find me a rule on it, I'm gonna just stick with that. I'm just gonna stick with that. You know? I don't know what else to do. I don't want to make up a percentage. I don't want to make up a percentage. In the end, encumbrance doesn't really matter. It doesn't make the game better or more fun. Yeah, I agree. I don't keep up with that. I don't care. Maybe you can find info for armors and sizes. Didn't small races have problem too? Yeah. So there's a weapon category called heavy, which can't be used by small creatures. I don't know why they do that. Being small doesn't. I mean, I guess it does give you some advantages, but it's not really a huge thing. I remember I thought about this earlier. I can't remember why. Triple X, Triple XL might cost a bit more due to customization. Okay. Hey Sam, I feel very happy being here, but that's the difference between like a smith making armor for a gnome or a half orc would be different than a smith making a set of armor for a whale. I'm not intentionally being hurtful. I just picked a big animal. Sam, I feel very happy being here. I've been watching your shorts and lore for a while, but never came in one of these live streams. Welcome. Happy to have you. We're going to be talking about here shortly. How far? 5 o'clock or 6:05? We're going to be talking about some stuff. I got a list. We're going to be talking about my character creation rules. We're going to go over how to talk to your DM. And we're also going to go over some skill checks. I'm going to hit up some skill checks. I think these are some solid video ideas. So we're going to stream them. I'm going to download it, cut it up like a good YouTuber. And then, speaking of skill checks, here we are. Strength score multiplied by 15. So as you can see, like your strength score determines how much you can carry regardless of your size. But we're talking about like materials and weight. We're talking about materials and weight. Would Goliath or Furbolg be the biggest race? Wouldn't it be easier to calculate backwards? I think bugbears are the biggest. I think bugbears are the limits of medium. I think bugbears like skirt the edge of large. I don't know what you're talking about, but yes, thank you, Moni. I had this thought for my next session is about my group going into a dungeon where they will extract information from someone who they need to kill. Any idea? I'm gonna need a little bit more than that. My group going into a dungeon where they need to extract information from someone who they need to kill. Speak with dead. Kill them and then speak with dead, I guess. I don't know. I'm not sure though. I'm gonna need a little bit more information. That sounds like a pretty easy fix. Questions like that. So when you folks ask me questions about your campaign, like how should I do this? There's a lot to unpack. I have to make a lot of assumptions when you ask me questions like that. So for your question specifically, I have no idea what level your party is, so I have no idea what access to magic they have. I don't know what they're extracting information from. If they're trying to extract information from a mind flayer, that's gonna be way different than extracting information from a goblin. They have different values, you know. There's just so much. There's just so much. Magic items. Being small would make it more difficult target to hit, I'd imagine. See, back in the day, you used to have an AC bonus for being small. Very excited to see I was live. Thank you, bud. The first part's about demons, the celestials, send them to enter. Bugbears and Goliaths. Treating armor of different sizes as the same weight makes no sense. It's applying the size penalty to carrying capacity that doesn't exist. Size penalty to carrying capacity. I'm not sure what you're referring to. What size penalty to carry capacity? May I suggest cultists? There is no size penalty. That's the point. I don't know what you're getting at. There is no like so here the way it is right now. A chain shirt sized for a halfling is the exact same as a chain shirt sized for a bugbear. It's 50 gold. It weighs 20 pounds. It's no difference. And your problem is and you're saying that's a problem. What do you think of oversized weapons? We don't really have the rules on oversized weapons. In 3.5 we had oversized weapons. It added another die. Yes, you think that's a problem, but it's like we've got nothing to, we don't know how to fix it. Yes, it's a problem. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. The chain shirt has adjustable straps. I don't know what to tell you. Physics? Bro, physics are out the window, man. This is a game about spells and magic. I don't know what to tell you. The chain shirt has adjustable straps. I'll tell you what, here's how you visualize. Here's how I'm gonna put this in perspective. When the bugbear takes off his 20 pound chain shirt and gives it to the halfling has to adjust it. The halfling has to like pull plates, like remove some things to make it fit. All right, so it's still 20 pounds, but they're not wearing the full 20 pounds. But when the halfling hands it back, or you guys are saying halfling, I said no. When the gnome hands it back to when the small creature hands it back to the bugbear, they give them their little plates back to adjust, you know? Have you ever seen chainmail, Sam? What do you want from me, Benji? What do you want? What do you want? You want me to homebrew this? Have you ever seen a fireball? What do you want me to homebrew this? That's not how it works. Listen, what do you want from me? That's not how it works. I'm saying it's just. What do you mean that's not? Wait, what do you mean that's not how it works? You can just undo some pieces and they come off, right? You can just undo some pieces, right? That sounds like. Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. If I'm at a game and this comes up, I'm gonna get bored. If I'm sitting there at a D&D game and it's like there's a dragon attacking the village, we need to go, the princess is in danger, we got to go save her from the castle. And I'm like, all right, let's head out. And the DM's like, all right, hold on. Steely, you're playing a gnome, right? You're wearing a chain shirt. We're going to need to adjust that. No, DM, please. 20 pounds is fine. It's fine. Let's go. Like the dragon. Well, hold on. Let me open up my doc. It looks like we'll need to shave off 20%. Let me get my calculator out. DM, you can stop right there. I'm fine. Let's go. We're going to make that gold back in no time as soon as we go find that dragon's hoard. But we're not going to get that if we don't get down there. Maybe it's part of the magic it changes sizes. But DM, the princess. Well, hold on. Realism. Oh, here we go. I'm looking right at it. Chat. I was literally staring at it. Are y'all kidding me? I was literally staring at it. I didn't even. Is this what I need? You can use where any equipment you find. Oh my gosh. I was literally staring right at it. So this is what I was talking about. We have the rules right here. Oh, it doesn't have the weight. Oh my gosh. It doesn't have the cost, market price. Oh, it doesn't have the weight though. Look, it even addresses. That's so weird. All right. So by the way, this is the armor and shield section. If it annoys me, Sam, I'm going to nitpick. I understand. Believe me, I get it. Believe me. There are plenty of things that I'll nitpick about. Believe me. So this is kind of what we're looking for. This is equipment sizes, but it doesn't say. But this doesn't say weight. All right, hold on. I just skimmed it. In most campaigns, you can use or wear any equipment you find on your adventures within the bounds of common sense. For example, a burly half-orc won't fit in a halfling's leather armor, and a gnome would be swallowed up in a cloud giant's elegant robe. The DM can impose more realism. For example, a suit of plate armor made for one human might not fit another without significant alterations, and a guard's uniform might be visibly ill-fitting when an adventurer tries to wear it as a disguise. Using this variant, when adventurers find armor, clothing, similar items that are made to be worn, they might need to visit armor smith, tailor, leatherworker, etc. The cost is 10 to 40% of the market price of the item. Roll a d4 times 10 or determine the increased cost. Yeah, so this doesn't discuss weight. I guess you could do the same. You could just say 10 to 40% of the weight as well as the value. Done. There you go, Benji. I got you. 10 to 40%. You roll a d4. Roll a d4. Times it by 10. There's your percentage. Success. Everybody dab in the chat. We did it. We have done it. What's up, Justin? You can't do that since in real life it doesn't work. Why not create a custom magical NPC custom fit? It's a good way to spice up a party running for their life sequence without making it about skill checks and trap dodging. It's a good way to spice up a party running for their life sequence without making it about skill checks and trap dodging. I don't know, it's a turn-based game, so you really gotta... So what I would do is I would give the death effects, like the ball. Like if you're in, like if it's Indiana Jones running from the boulder, put the boulder on the initiative. That would be a good way to do it. Just do combat rounds. Like it's the boulder's turn. Guess what it's gonna do? It's gonna move 20 feet east. All right, players, your turn. If it hits a player, then it does a massive amount of damage. Or make the boulder faster than, and then you can make a map for it, and you can put things in the map that will help or harm. Traps, for example. These weight and size rules are some riggedy-roo shenanigans. Let me measure. Sorry, I can't fit this armor. You got too much cake. Yeah, it's not something that I would bother with. All right, are we ready? So are we ready for this? So I've gotten several requests to go over my character creation rules. I thought now would be a good time to just knock this out for a video. I can go over it, and at the same time, I can send people that I'm running this video of my character creation rules. I can just hand them over and be like, look, this video, I go over everything. So here's how to draw up a character for my game. Boom. And just pass them the video. Also for anyone interested, because I've had quite a few people ask how I do character creation rules. So first off, start at level 1. It's pretty easy. My games will generally be you level up every session, generally speaking, because 20 game sessions is, how many months is that? 4 each. It's like 4 or 5 months. 4 months. Yeah, 4 or 5 months. So if you start at level 1 and you have a 4-month campaign, you can get to level 20 with that. I acknowledge that that's fast. I acknowledge that that's a very fast way. Leveling up every session is quick, but 4 months is also a good bit of time. So from the games that I've played in, levels can go like 3 sessions or longer. I was in a game as a bard, chat. I was in a game as a bard, and we were level 2 for a month. Level 2. Every session, I was like, am I going to get that subclass next? Is this it? Do I finally get my Nope. No subclass. It was excruciating. So I like a little bit of a faster pace. Another reason that I like a faster paced game is because you can finish the campaign and start up another one. I hear a lot of people talking about really long, year-long campaigns where they play the same character and they get to level 20 or 2 years or whatever. I don't know how they do it. Everyone that I've ever met and ran in a D&D game, and let me know in the comments right now, or if you're watching live, let me know in the chat. If you're watching this VOD, let me know in the comments. How many characters do you have on D&D Beyond? If it's more than 1, or if it's like 100, then how are you going to hit those if you're doing one campaign a year? So if you knock out a campaign quickly, like a campaign goes to 8 or 12 or whatever, you can try out a new character. You can cycle through roughly 60 to 70 characters. I got bad news for you. You're not going to hit all those in a lifetime. Unless you do a bunch of one shots. So yeah, I like faster campaigns. I like leveling up every session. Sometimes we'll do a level every other session. Sometimes if I want to stretch out the campaign for a little bit longer, we'll do a level every other session, but no more than that. No more than that. My players still love it. Hey, if that's the kind of game you're running, look, if that's the kind of game you're running, I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying this is the kind of game that I run. One more thing I want to bring up is no matter what, whatever act of God, role play session, shopping session, you will not spend more than one game session at level 1 in my games. Ever. It will not happen. It doesn't matter what you accomplish. I don't care if all you did was sit in the tavern role playing and then maybe spent your starting gold on a dagger. I don't care. Level 1 is awful. I don't like it. Nobody likes level 1. Nobody likes it. You're going to get level 2 no matter what. Just get away from it. I like starting at level 1 so you can say we went 1 to X instead of like, oh, we started such and such, but we're not spending more than a game session at level 1. And generally I'll do 1 and 3 as well, because getting your subclass is awesome. Like getting to that subclass is super important. So no more than 1 game session at level 1, no more than 1 game session at level 2. I've spent too much time on this bullet, but you see where I'm coming from. Standard array. I do standard array. I don't roll for stat. I don't want to sit there and watch you roll your stats so that you end up with some crazy, horrible or crazy good character that's unbalanced and that you end up rolling a bunch of bad scores and you're like, oh, DM, can I re-roll this or can I just take the standard? I just do this. This is consistent. It's easy. Moving forward. See, if you wonder how these types of games exist for years, come over to my Sunday group. It will drive you mad. Oof. I don't know. I don't know. I like a fast pace. You know this. Those of you that watch my D&D games, you know this. Standard ability scores 15, 14, 13, 12, 10, 8. Average HP on level for the same reason. Starting class equipment, no rolling gold. Same reason. It's consistent. You can be consistent. I don't think I've ever, because this allows you to draw up a character for other people's games without needing to know their, like, you may need to make adjustments for their game, but for the most part, why is this duplicate? I duplicated this. I don't know why. For the most part, you can go to anyone's table with a character built like this and be okay. No evil. Listen, I don't like that I have to put this, believe me. But for some reason, when people put evil on their character sheet, they turn into idiots. They actually lose their minds. I don't know what it is about that big E on the sheet that wires something in a person's brain, but I can't. I don't know what it is. I'm not saying that there aren't people out there that can handle evil, but I'm saying that I run enough people that I don't run on a regular basis, that I'm still trying to establish a relationship with, that will write evil down, and it happens all the time. It just happened to me the other day. Story time. I'm running a group. I show this group my character creation rules. One of the players says, "Oh, that sucks. I wanted to be evil." And I was like, "Oh, you know what? You can play evil. I mainly put that there for people that aren't familiar with the game or are new to D&D. You can play evil. Go for it. That's fine." I'm running Lost Mines of Phandelver. They're in town. All right. They're in Phandalin. Those of you that are familiar, Lost Mines of Phandelver, there's this little village called Phandalin. And some kids run up to the party and, just do the little kids like, "Oh, your adventures? That's cool. I want to kill a dragon," just being kids. And the kids have some information that the party wants. I don't want to spoil anything. I'm not going to get too specific. So my party offers them a dagger. It's like, "Ooh, here's a real weapon." The little kid was using a wooden sword. They're like, "Here's a real dagger." The kid was like, "Yes, I'm going to go kill a dragon with it," and takes off. The party does their thing. When the party comes back to town, the kid's mother approaches them. The kid's mother's got the hand on the hip like, "You gave my son a dagger. What?" Just like got the dagger in hand. The kid's got like a bloody arm, hurt himself. To me, that was like a really fun opportunity, because I love the idea of players facing threats that they can't just, like, players and the party and the adventurers are so used to like charging into a dungeon with their weapons drawn and killing a dragon. The idea of coming back to town and having to face an angry mother is just like so cool to me. I love that. I love the concept. I love the idea of that. Sure enough, the one person that was complaining to me about evil, as soon as that mother approaches, they're like, I'm going to Eldritch Blast her. They turn into idiots, chat. I'm not even joking with you. Not even joking with you. I'm sitting here trying to have a moment, and this guy's like, I'm gonna Eldritch Blast her. You're just gonna kill the commoner? Yeah. She dies. Did you want to combat? Like, she's got 2 hit points. What do you? This little halfling woman, you're just gonna shoot her? Like, yeah, Eldritch Blast her. Okay. And right then and there, I announced to the entire table. I was like, listen, this is why I don't allow evil. In case anybody was wondering, in case there was any question, this is why I don't allow evil. And I said it right to his face. I said, because people turn into idiots. People actually get stupid when they have an E on their character sheet. Moving on. Current Unearthed Arcana is allowed. I love playtesting the Unearthed Arcana. I love seeing what's new. And how often as a player do you get to use this new playtest material? How often do you get to like experience the Unearthed Arcana before it comes out? I feel like it's not very often. I feel like not a lot of DMs allow the Unearthed Arcana because, for one, they're probably not familiar with it. And for two, they probably think it's unbalanced because they haven't gotten to, they haven't balanced it out yet, which is kind of the point. And I'm okay with that. I'm willing to make changes in the middle of the game. So I allow the current Unearthed Arcana. The Revised Ranger is not current Unearthed Arcana. I'm sorry. The Revised Rangers does not exist anymore. I'm talking about at the time of recording, I'm talking about the multiverse, the new Path of the Giant, I believe is current. Stuff like that. I have completely overhauled crafting in my games. Completely overhauled. There are 2 books that I use from the DM's Guild. You don't really need to worry about that. If you're actually running in my game, I'll probably give you access to the books so that you can read through them. But these are I want tools to matter in my game. So these are the tools that I use. All of these will have a significant impact. You can do some pretty cool stuff with this. You can make bombs. I'm still working on, at the time of recording, I'm still working on chefs. All of these, I have homebrew rules specifically for each of these, and I go over some of them. I have a video on crafting. Thieves' Tools is a little different. Thieves' Tools is not a crafting. It's a whole nother beast, but it's still good. It's still good in its own right. Picking locks. Harvester's Kit allows you to harvest from dead creatures. You can harvest beholder eyes or dragon scales, etc. And when you harvest these, you can use these professions to craft with your harvested parts. I'm not going to spend too much time on that. I did a video on this. You can go look at that. And finally, my skinning tool. Yeah, I like skinning tools. So my Harvester Kit, I do allow fishing and gathering plants and skinning monsters, all in the same. Do all those. All right. Before I touch Homebrew, let me get caught up on chat here before I touch. Good day. What's up, Tony? People get the wrong idea what evil means for a PC. I'm saying I always have it. If someone wants to be evil, they need to run it by me first. Yeah. They always get to mustache twirling evil. No, they get stupid. Like mustache twirling evil, like plotting some evil plan to like create an army of undead and raise the dead. That's interesting. I'm gonna shoot the halfling mother because she's mad at me for giving her son a dagger. Is just stupid. It's just stupid. There's so many ways an evil PC could go. I know, and just people just don't know. Could deceive the mother, shift blame, lie. The child should grow up and go hunt down that character. So actually, what happened in that game is when after I said something, the other players were like, "No, we don't want that." Because that was going to shift the entire like Phandalin was important to their quest line. If they had killed that woman, like the whole town would have been outcast. It would have changed the campaign completely. And the players were like, no, we don't want that. Stop it. That's pretty dope. I'll have to find that GM Guild book. Yeah, let me pull it up real quick. Actually, I'm just going to direct you to, I posted a video recently about crafting in D&D. If you go look at that, Let me pull up the book real quick. So the name of the book that I use, real quick, find the right one. What is it? This is volume 2. Volume 1, here we go. So this is volume 1. This is the cover. It's called Hammond's Harvesting Handbook. This is the one that I use. There's another one which has the bomb making. I'm just going to show you this one. So I highly recommend this one. It's like $10 on DM's Guild. Worth every penny. Very good. Caught you before sundown. Love the shorts, man. Keep up the awesome work. Hey, thanks, Matt. Hi, Steely. Thank you so very much for the great content. Thank you. Fun. Thank you for the kind words. There's plotting, then there's being a stupid PC because evil. Bonus action makes cape billow. Hey, Steely. Hey, chat. What's up, Ivan? It would be funny if the player made a halfling Batman. Write that down. Write that down. Called Hammond's Handbook. Rough question, Steely. Ooh, I'm ready for a rough. I like a rough question. Here we go. Would you let a player that's playing a rogue, assassin, multi-class into Gloomstalker for 3 or 4 levels? That is not a rough question. Yeah, I'm okay with multi-classing. I guess I should specify that. Multi-classing's fine. Okay, let me talk about my homebrew rules now. Flanking advantage. I love the idea of positioning. Believe it or not, I will tell people I use flanking, and I don't know if they just forget or if they just kind of get caught up in the moment, but sometimes they'll not do it. And I don't, as a DM, I don't like nudging people in a direction, but I will remind them, like in the middle of comments, like, I use flanking, by the way. You could have had an advantage from that. I try not to do that too often because I don't want to control the players, but at the same time, I don't want them to miss something, because they forgot. Potions as a bonus action is pretty self-explanatory. If you want to drink a healing potion, it's a bonus action. If you want to give another player a potion, if a player is down, is unconscious, bleeding out, and you have a healing potion you want to give it to them, that's an action. Bonus action to drink, action to administer. No instant death damage. I'm just going to show you. I think I have the PHB pulled up right here. Here we go. No instant death damage. For those of you that don't know what I'm referring to here, there is a rule in the player's handbook, stalling, under damage and healing, that causes you to die immediately. Instant death. This is the rule. Massive damage can kill you instantly. When damage reduces you to 0 hit points and there is damage remaining, you die. If the remaining damage exceeds or equals, I read that backwards, your hit point maximum. For example, a cleric with a max hit points 12 currently has 6 hit points. If they take 18 from an attack, she is reduced to 0, but 12 remains. The remaining damage equals her hit point max. Cleric dies. I don't use this. This exists only to kill low-level players, honestly. This rule exists just to kill players. I've been playing D&D for over a decade, about 15 years. And I can count on one hand the number of times I've seen an NPC die to instant death. 3.5 also had instant death rules. It's a little bit similar to this. I can count on one hand the number of times I've seen an NPC die to this. Usually NPCs die right away anyway. But this rule exists to kill players. I like players' characters. I don't like killing them outright. So I don't use that rule. Screw that rule. That rule's lawful. I don't like that rule. I understand why some people would use it if they like a more challenging game or they like a more brutal, like players die. I can implement challenge in different ways. Instant death damage is not one of them. I remove that. Spell scrolls can be used by anyone. I like giving spell scrolls out as loot. I like giving out spells as loot. It's really cool. I allow spell scrolls to be used by anyone. By the book, you have to have the spell on your spell list, and if it's above a spell level that you can cast, you have to roll in order to cast it. Pretty complicated. And if you fail, you lose the scroll outright. Kind of sucks. I like the idea of giving out spell scrolls as keys to solve certain puzzles. So for example, maybe I'll give out a Dispel Magic scroll. And then later on, knowing that the party has a Dispel Magic scroll in their inventory, I'll put them up against some magic that needs to be dispelled, or they'll suffer some consequences. So as a reward, they can either think, oh, we could use the Dispel Magic Scroll here and get past this trap, or we can just face the consequences of the trap, which are obvious. I love the idea of that. Spell Scrolls is what allows that. Proficiency for Improvised Weapons. I use this specifically so people will use Improvised Weapons more. I allow you to add your proficiency to Improvised Weapons. If you pick up a rock and throw it, you can add your proficiency. It's fine. I want to see more flavor stuff like this, so I allow this. For every spell, there is a spell of a different damage type. What I mean by that is I closed the book. Hello, everyone. Hope you're all doing well. What's up, Steven? Hop in the Discord. Thank you. It'd be funny if a player made a halfling Batman. Facts. I could get behind Batman. Let me get caught up on chat here before I go onwards. Rough question. Think about introducing Thaco. Oof. Why? Why? Why would you introduce Thaco? What is that going to do for you? I feel like you're trolling. Oh, okay. Actually, you know, I really didn't need to open up the book for this. All right. For every spell, there's a spell of a different damage type. What I mean by that is that for every spell that deals damage, for example, I'm just going to use Fireball, which is not on the spell list. Let me find a Fireball. So for every spell that exists, for example, Fireball does fire damage. There is another spell that does a different damage type. For example, there is an Ice Ball, there's a Lightning Ball, etc. So whenever you choose your spells, you can choose Fireball, or you can choose Ice Ball or Lightning Ball, etc. Now, that's not to say that you can change these spells on a whim. Like if you put Ice Ball in your spell book, you now have Ice Ball. You don't have Fireball. You have to go find Fireball. You have to go put Fireball in your spell book. You don't have that. All you have is Ice Ball. And the reason I do that is because I don't want fire. I don't want people to feel like fire has to be the element you choose. If you want to play an elemental mage, it feels like fire is the only way to do damage. I like the idea of an ice mage, a lightning mage, etc. So I like the idea of changing damage types. If there's a damage type that you really like, you want to do a lightning mage, you can do lightning fireball, you can do lightning shield, for example, things like that. I think that's cool. Wall of Necrotic. So Necrotic is not on the list. The damage types that I'm referring to are the exact same damage types you would see in elemental, what's it called? Elemental Protection from Elements? Yeah, I think it's called Protection from Elements. Protection. Oh, I probably should have been more specific. Protection from Energy. This is the one. So these are the damage types you could swap out. Acid, Cold, Fire, Lightning, Thunder. These are the ones. You can't change all of your fireballs to Radiant. You can't change Toll the Dead to Radiant. It's only Acid, Cold, Fire, Lightning, Thunder. This is so you can make an Elemental Mage. You can make an Acid. Actually, I want Poison. Okay, this isn't even... Because I want other things on that list too. Protection from Energy, maybe? Acid, Cold, Fire, Lightning, Thunder. I might have to revisit this because I want Poison on there as well. But whatever. This is what you have access to for now. So yeah, for every spell that exists, there's another spell of a different damage type. And to elaborate further on that, in the Dungeon Master's Guide, where it explains creating spells, it uses other spells as an example of a baseline. And changing the damage type of a spell does not adjust the spell level. If you look at the DMG and you look at the section, I can pull it up. If you look at the Dungeon Master's Guide and you look at the section on creating spells and you go, if you actually read through that, the spell type is irrelevant. So by that logic, you can have every spell of a damage type have a different damage type. So let me look here. Make sure the spell fits with the identity of the class. I highly recommend reading through this section of the DMG, creating a spell, and you'll kind of get an idea of where I was going with that rule. But it talks about damage, but it doesn't talk about damage type. It may need to talk about damage type if you're doing radiant or psychic, but for the most part, I'm okay with a fireball doing ice. I'm okay with that. Like the ones of the Sorcerer Transmutation. Yes, that's actually a better example. The Sorcerer Transmutation is a perfect example. And I've had people tell me that the Sorcerer Transmutation is less valuable with that rule, with the rule of changing the damage type. I don't think so. I could be wrong, but I believe that being able to change the damage type on the fly. There we go. So see, poison is on this list. Poison is here. Okay, yeah, Transmutant Spell. This allows you to change the damage type at the cast, which is great. This allows you to change the damage type as needed. The other one lets you change the damage type when you make the choice, when you choose the spell. So I still think this has value. I don't think it takes away. I'm open to debate on that one. I don't think it takes away from Transmute Spell. I think this spell is still valuable. But I'm open to debate that one. Downtime training reduced. So crafting and so downtime is a bit tricky. I'm going to have to really elaborate on that one. Downtime, I allow for crafting. That's mainly for your crafting. That's also used to learn new skills or languages. Now, I allow 30 days, 10 days to learn a new skill or a language. That's incredibly fast compared to by the book. The book, I think it says, I think it actually takes a year or longer. It takes a really long time to learn a new skill by the book. I like the idea of learning new skills, new languages, or new tools. 30 days, you can learn a new skill, a new language, a new tool. Generally, in my games, between sessions, the 1 week, so if I run a session every week, for example, let's say I run a session on Monday. Between the week, there are 10 days of downtime between the session. And you can use that to work on a skill, work on a language, work on a weapon proficiency. Maybe you found a new weapon, a new magic weapon that you really want to use and you're not proficient with. You can use, it takes 3 game sessions of downtime or 3 between sessions of downtime, 3 10 days. Again, I allow 1 10 day between sessions. And then you learn a new skill, a new language. This is not that powerful, especially when you're gaining a level every session. It takes 3 levels to get a new skill or language. This is mostly a pacing thing. This is really dependent. I don't know if I would recommend this for other DMs. This is just from my experience. If you level up every session, if you run a fast-paced game, again, 4 or 5 months. If you're going to level 20, it's 4 months or 5 months. 3 game sessions to learn a skill or a language or a weapon proficiency really isn't that strong. Crafting, I'm going to change this to better fit this, but for the most part, you can accomplish 10 gold pieces worth of work. Detect magic as a cantrip. That one's pretty obvious. Detect magic is normally a ritual that you can cast. I like the idea. So one thing that I won't allow is, okay, DM, I'm going to use detect magic. Let me know when we find something magical. No. I like the idea of you telling me you're going to use detect magic, you taking the time to use a skill. I'm not going to let you automate anything. I'm not going to all right, DM, I'm going to have detect magic up. Just let me know. No, you're not going to put that off on me. You're going to tell me when you use detect magic, or you're going to ask this specifically for magical. I'm going to tell you. You're not just going to have infinite detect magic going at all times automated. But, I mean, you could. It's a cantrip. But you got to tell me. I would like the idea of, okay, we're going in this room. I'm going to scan for magic. Fine with that. That's cool. While we search the room, maybe the rogue searches the room and the mage is like, do a magic scan. Oh, I'm okay with that. I like that. What I don't like is, all right, we're entering the dungeon. Detect magic is on for the rest of the dungeon. I'm just going to keep recasting it. Stop it. Do you shorten the time that it's activated? Wait, what is the time that it's activated? I thought it was an action. Ooh, hold on. I thought it was an action to activate. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Casting time one action. For the duration, you sense magic within 30 feet of you. Can use your action to sense faint aura. You learn at school. What are you referring to? I wonder. Sounds a lot like Eldritch Sight. Wouldn't that make it obsolete? Maybe. Doesn't Eldritch Sight just teach you detect magic though? Oh yeah, it does. Yeah, so Eldritch Sight would be, I don't know, does it? Let's discuss that. Does making detect magic a cantrip make Eldritch Sight less valuable? I'm going to be honest, even if it does, I don't care. I'm just going to say, okay, you probably shouldn't take Eldritch Sight. Oh, okay, yeah. Detect magic at will. So you already have detect magic at will. In that case, yes. Eldritch Sight is not as good. I would probably improve on Eldritch Sight then. Maybe, what would I do with this? I don't even know. Would Eldritch Sight really be that much weaker if it said you learn the detect magic cantrip? I don't know. Yeah, I mean, that's a conversation. So that's a conversation that I would have specifically with my warlocks. They could honestly just not need to take this. They basically get this for free. Well, I mean, they have to have the detect magic cantrip. You know what? Honestly, I would probably just give them detect magic cantrip. I'd be like, okay, yeah, sure. If you feel like if Eldritch Sight is really like something that you want to do, there you go. You can have it. Like, to be honest, I don't. Just talking about my own personal rules. Yeah. So a lot of people. So you're asking, why are we creating characters? So a lot of people ask me my homebrew character creation rules. So I'm just going over that. So detect magic, if you want to cast detect magic as a ritual, it's 10 minutes. You don't have to worry. If it's a cantrip, you don't have to worry about casting it as a ritual. You just don't got to worry about it. I was thinking of detect magic as a cantrip, it should last for 1 minute instead of 10. Maybe then Eldritch Sight gives it 10 minutes. I still don't think Eldritch Sight would be worth it. I don't know. That's a discussion that I'm willing to have with warlocks who want to take Eldritch Sight. But I can't think of a single warlock that would rather take an invocation to learn a cantrip than to just take the cantrip. How many cantrips do warlocks get? 4? No, it can't be that much. 2 or 3. How many cantrips do warlocks get? Anybody looking at the warlock right now? It's not 4, is it? That seems like a lot. It's got to be like 3. 2. So that's tough. They get a 3rd cantrip at 4th. Honestly, I would just give them detect magic. I just give it to them. Like, here you go. Here you go. Sorry. Here you go. Sorry. Or maybe give them another cantrip. If they take Eldritch Sight, give them another cantrip. Could you post this document in the Discord? Sure. Sure, I can do that. I don't know. That would be a discussion for a warlock. Or that would be a discussion I'd have with the warlock. I don't think it takes away too much from them. I think they're okay. Like I said, I might just give them detect magic. Like, here you go. We'll solve that problem. Just have detect magic. Especially if they're the only spellcaster, I'll happily give them detect magic. All right, next. Improved weak weapons like Trident. I don't have this fleshed out. This was newly added. This last campaign I just started. I have a player that's playing a sea elf paladin. No, not a sea elf. Water genasi paladin. And Trident is really thematic for water genasi, sea elves, tritons, etc. But Trident is also incredibly weak. So I just make it stronger. Jordan, but the PH is silent, has it to where a Trident does 2d4, 3d4 if you use it two-handed. If you use it versatile. Simple as that. Super easy. 2d4. Tridents do 2d4. The etc. is just there in case I want to improve any other weapons. I mainly added this specifically for the Trident. Now this I wanted to hear about. What are your rules on extremely exotic / rarely used language? Some examples I can think of would be Leonin or an example. I just cut them out. Minotaur is a good example. I love playing Minotaurs, but Minotaur is a near useless language because most Minotaurs are just like monsters. It really depends. A lot of the time, I will shift certain NPCs based off of what languages a player chooses. So if I see a player choose Minotaur or choose Leonin in your example, I will incorporate more Leonin NPCs and more Minotaur NPCs. I will look at what languages players take, and I will try to incorporate more NPCs. Because a lot of time you introduce a new NPC, the race is up in the air. It could be any race, right? Whenever the players go to a shopkeeper or a tavern or a flower shop or anything, a lot of the times you're going to pull a random NPC. When you have to pull a random NPC from your pool of random NPCs, what I like to do, well, what I would like to do more, I actually don't do this as much as I would like to. I would like to get into a habit of it, is looking at the player's list of languages that they have and then just pulling from that. That way they actually feel like they chose the language, like the language is useful. Pool of unused PCs times 3. All right, Primordial Dialect, my last homebrew rule. Homer's giving the neighbors the business. All right, my last homebrew rule is Primordial Dialect. So there are 4 primordial languages: Auran, Aquan. Oh boy, I done messed up. Auran is air. Aquan, Ignan is fire. I can't remember earth. What's the earth primordial language? Anyway, there's one for each element. I rule that primordial is one language and that everything else is a dialect. So if you speak Aquan, you can understand Auran, Ignan, whatever the earth one is, I forgot. If you speak Aquan, you have all of them. Primordial is one language with 4 dialects, and the dialects are the elementals. Hope I explained that well enough. Primordial is a dialect of the 4. So if you have Auran, you have Primordial, you can understand all of them. This is one language. The language of the elementals is one language. That's the only language one that I've got. Anyway, that is my homebrew rules. These are the rules I use for character creation. They change all the time. This is just the most current, but I will let you know if you're watching this video and you plan on playing in one of my games. I will let you know. I will adjust this document over time, and I'll happily explain what I've changed. Okay, video's over, chat. My throat's killing me already. I've got 3 more videos to record. My throat's already bothering me. It's already killing me. What have we done? Good evening. What kind of war crimes have we committed today? I haven't committed any war crimes today, but thanks, Sam. Appreciate the explanations. Absolutely. Hey, I recognize you from the shorts. Jack, it's me. See you at sundown. All right, character creation rules are Wait, did I? Oh yeah, okay. I just added some stuff. Poor Sam. 3 games a week's killing him. Actually, the games. Much love, Sam. I appreciate you. Appreciate you as well. The games are easy on my voice because the players do all the talking. It's when I sit down and talk to you, chat, that I have to do all the talking. I can't just let the players talk. That's when my voice gets put through the ringer. All right, what's next on the docket? What are you guys feeling? How to talk to your dungeon master or skill checks? Which one you guys want to do next? Maybe text some live questions via Discord? Oh, you're saying let people jump in the voice chat, ask questions? That's actually kind of cool. We're talking a lot here, just not audibly. Yeah, I usually read all of your message. So your talking is as much as me talking. My dad, who's been playing longer than I've been alive, has trouble integrating to 5e since he started 2e. Make a centaur. I know you hate them. It's not that I hate them. I hate visualizing them in the world. Like a centaur standing in a tavern or climbing a ladder or a rope it's just hard to visualize them anywhere. They're so hard to. Just hard to visualize. That's my only problem with centaur is just they're hard to visualize. You guys want to do skill checks next? You guys want to talk about skill checks? Would you use the horse armoring rule for that where it costs it? No, I'm not. No. Come on. I ain't doing all that. No. If you're a centaur and you want armor, you buy the armor same as everyone else. Hey Sam, what do you think of the Concord jewels acting like buses? I just kind of gloss over them. I just say, okay, the Concord jewel teleports you to the next thing. I'm not doing a skill challenge. What is a skill challenge versus a skill check? Are you guys talking about something specifically when you say skill challenges, or are you talking about skill checks? Quite a few of you have said skill challenges, and I feel like you're talking about something different. Oh no, it's just it's just Logan talking about skill challenges. So Logan specifically, are you talking about skill checks when you say skill challenges? Is that just a different way of saying challenges, or checks, or is there something else you're talking about? Isn't skill challenges an older 4E thing? I've heard the term skill challenges before. Oh, my throat. All right, let's get some music. You're referring to the old system? We're going to be talking about skill checks. But first, I'm going to give my throat a break. Y'all do the talking, chat. What do you want to talk about? I'll get to the skill checks in a second. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through each skill. Liquid Snake. Also say hi to Boomer for me. What's up, Boomer? Boomer? Please tell me Boomer's your dog, maybe your cat, a fish. If so, if Boomer is a pet, I want you to post a picture of your pets in the Familiars and Pets channel in the Discord. I need, oh my gosh, there's so many cute pictures in here. I mean, look, there's a frog in there. What's up, Boomer? I think it's the thing Matt does. A series of skill checks in rapid succession where you have to get a certain number of successes before a certain number of fails. That's kind of interesting, actually. I've never seen that. I've heard of it, but I've never done it. I've never tried it. Oh, these precious babies. Oh my goodness. If you're not in the Discord, it's discord.gg/SteelySam where you can see all of the cutest freaking animals. Gosh, they're so precious. These little babies. Precious little babies. Mods Discord check. What am I looking for? At me. At me or at the mods? Vibe check. What's the vibe? It's a little too loud. Oh, the link. Okay. I thought you were saying check the Discord because some shenanigans is going on. I'm always like on high alert for that. I'm always on high alert for that. No problem in the Discord. Okay, I got you. Discord.gg/SteelySam. You want to see some adorable puppies and kittens in the Discord. I think I've been sick, chat. I've been sleeping a lot. Way too much. I think I'm sick. Also, my sinuses have been acting up. I've been using a lot of Vicks. This Vicks Vapor Rub. I don't know. I hope it's not the the coof. Failed a con check. I may have. I hope it's not. I went to a restaurant on Tuesday and then I started immediately getting sick. I hope that's not what it is. Change your name to Sleepy Sam. I hope that's not what. I hope I didn't pick up something while I was out getting food. But yeah, I've been like out. It's no good, no fun. Being sick sucks. Especially when I got so much to do. Got videos to record. At least I'm well rested, right? Speaking of, my parents have it. Oh no, Ender, you're about to get it. How long do you typically stream for? This is the first time I've managed to catch one. It depends. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I stream Dungeons and Dragons, and that usually goes for about 3 hours. Tonight, I am just streaming. I'm just going to talk about these topics. I've got 4 topics that I want to talk about and make a video out of, make an actual YouTube video out of. I'm gonna download the stream and cut it up into videos. Once I finish these, I'm gonna call it. I just wanted to knock these. I just wanted to record some videos tonight. That's why I started streaming. Ahem. Although I may not get these done because of how my voice is. Stay safe, Ender. Had it twice. Tales Around the Tavern Fire has a question for me. My players are about to enter the end game of my campaign. I'm struggling to decide how I want to end it for them. Oof. How you want to end it? I mean, it's best to put it in the player's hands, I think. If you go around and describe what the player, like, all right, how does your character retire, or what does your character do with their life, kind of thing. I think it's too much to put on yourself if you try to write something for all of them, unless they sail off into the sunset as a group. Do I give them, what do you get up to for the next 5 years, or something more succinct? Oh, let's see. I mean, honestly, I would just describe the campaign end, describe how the NPCs react to the campaign end, or like their community or whatever. Because I mean, it also depends on level. If they're level 20, then like it's going to be a big extra planar event. But if they're level 5 and they just killed the dragon, then it's going to be a celebration in town. There's going to be like a big block party in the town. A noble may visit or something. But once you describe that, then I would just pass it off to the players. Like, okay, now that the dragon has been defeated, your task is done. Player 1, Where does your character go from here? How does your character's tale end? Or you could ask specifically, you could word it like this. What does retirement look like for your character? I think that's the best. That would be the best way to word it. What does retirement look like for your character? Yeah, I'd word it that way. I think that's the best way to word it, because that puts them in the mindset that puts them in the mindset my character is now done. This is what my character does when they're finished. That kind of makes it feel like the character's done. Like, okay, what would my character even retire? Retirement for my mage would be teaching, like, okay, I drew up a wizard that wants to be the best wizard. What does retirement look like for your wizard? Starts a mage college and teaches other mages. Or spends his days in a tower studying magic. Taking on a prodigy. There you go. Stuff like that. Do I have the voice for another one? Ooh. Being sick sucks, chat. I don't want to do it anymore. Roll for UT? Roll for it? Yeah, I love Vix. Not sponsored. All right, let's talk about skill checks. Do you feel more confident running your later games than per se the first one on Monday because you have a better feel for how it's going to run? I feel more confident running later games. No. You know what? I'm going to say no. The obvious answer would be yes, but I make so many changes throughout the week that it feels fresh every time. So for example, Monday I ran it a specific way, but then Wednesday I made a lot of changes. We even like did more of the adventure than Monday did. So I don't know. I guess it's different every time. They also go, I mean, assuming the players go in the exact same direction, which they didn't. Yeah, it's different every time. I change it up. I try to keep it fresh so that I'm in the same, the same boat. Sam, as always, you are always a font of wisdom and guidance. I would love to pick your brain on some other topics. One-on-one stuff. I'm in the Discord. I'm in the voice chat at the Discord a lot. If any of you see me in the Discord, you folks are in the voice chat of the Discord, you're welcome to pop in. Make sure you pay attention. If I'm in the private channel, maybe don't. But if I'm in general or gaming, pop in, say hi. Pop in, say hi, please. People do it all the time. It's fine. Pop in, hang. Do you know these people? I don't think you can predict what the bird will do. Set something on fire. Nervous Pepe. I mean, you don't have. I'm not saying you have to. You could message me as well, or you can at me. I actually prefer if people at me in the Discord. That way it's public. But plenty of people will message me. Will message me. You'll have better luck. I'm more likely to respond if you at me instead of messaging me. Because sometimes people will just message me directly asking for a campaign review, and I'm just not got time for it. Although, if on the off chance that I do review your campaign, like if you send me something to review, please have it ready. Have it in a presentable form. Do not message me asking me to review your campaign and then start typing a paragraph or something. I need, like, if you care about this campaign at all and you care about having it critiqued, then for the love of God, write it down. Type it out. Give me bullets. Give me, like, make it presentable. At the very least, make it presentable. It doesn't have to be pretty. You don't have to write an essay.
just organize your thoughts before because I'm not going to organize your thoughts for you, you know? I can't tell you how many times somebody's reached out to me and they're like, hey, will you tell me what you think of my campaign or my homebrew? And I'm like, all right, shoot it. And then they'll like start typing and they're kind of all over the place. And they'll literally change things as they're typing it out. Like, I'm just asking, like, what is this? It's hard to explain, I guess. You'd have to see, like, I'd have to show you, but I don't want to embarrass anybody. Just write it down. You know, make it presentable. Pretend like you care, and I'll pretend like I care. How's that? I'm joking, but like, you know. Sam will curse to you if you join the general voice chat. Where DM's planning never looks pretty. Having played a lot of games of the same module, does it happen that players make the same choices from different groups, causing the story to be super similar? No. Not at all. You would be amazed. No matter how linear an adventure is, the players will find a way to absolutely... I mean, D&D is just a magical game. I don't think I've ever had a session go like that. I've never had it. I've never had that happen. You talking about the blind sight feat still being worked on? No. No, I'm not talking about your blind sight. Although I haven't looked at it. No, yours was presentable. You actually had like stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. Yours was actually presentable. Oh, not yours. Oh, you're talking about somebody else's blind sight. I was thinking I can't remember whose blind sight that was. But yeah, somebody did a very good job. I sent the Witcher signs. Did you at me? That feat was yours, Pelly? That's what it was. Yeah, yours was really well presented. Are D&D wiki homebrews legit? I don't know. Some of them, I guess. If you ask me that stuff is more like a paragraph, I'm just going to leave the chat. I don't know why you expect someone to sit there for 30 minutes. No. I'm talking about messaging me directly. Oof. Ender, you bring up a very good point. If you want me to review your homebrew, you better type that stuff up and send it to me to review at my own choosing. Do not join the voice chat and dominate the voice chat with your nonsense. Stop it. Too many times I'll be like playing Overwatch with some people and someone will pop in there and be like, hey, can you tell me about my homebrew? And then they'll go on this long rant, just completely dominate the entire voice chat. Like we're having like a conversation. We're playing Overwatch or whatever. We're playing Faz. And somebody will come in there and hit us with some deep stuff. And we're just like, bro, like, come on now. Type this up in a document. And it's the same thing. Like, it's just word salad. Type it up in a document and submit it. Make it presentable. Don't just talk. Like sometimes I think people are just like, they just want to talk about something, and you know, what do they want to talk about? Like, what are they excited about? They're excited about what's going on. They're excited about D&D. I appreciate that, but like, we're just too nice. I'm not in there. Time and place for everything. Overwatch voice chat is not the time and place for Sam to review your homebrew. Yeah, make it presentable. I don't want to do it in voice chat. I'm just going to tell you, I don't want to do it in voice chat. I would rather do it. As a matter of fact, I think that's what I'm starting to do. If you want to talk about your homebrew, type up a text document and send it to me. I think it's the perfect time when you're tilted. Do you enjoy reviewing homebrew? Sometimes. Depends. I don't like spending a lot of time on it, but it really depends. I don't know. I'm just going to say in general, no. I'm going to say in general, no. But sometimes I'll find a homebrew that just blows me away. Like Hammond's. I have no interest in classes. I've seen so many homebrew classes and it's always just uninteresting. I don't know. Maybe I should review classes just so I can tell them like, look, doing more damage is not interesting. I don't care. There's been so many times where I'll review or somebody will send me a homebrew class. I'm like, hey, what do you think of this new wizard? And it's just like, okay, they just do more damage. That's it. Like it'll have some flavor like, oh, this mage pulls their magic from the spaghetti in the pantry and they harness this energy so that their firebolt does a D12. You're just doing more. It's like, okay, I appreciate the flavor. It's great, but you're just doing a D12. Like all this class does, like when you break it down, all this is doing is just more damage, or it just does damage. I don't care. Indestructible is in here. Hey, Indestructible, I got news for you, bud. First of all, Indestructible has challenged us. I'm actually glad you're in here. Indestructible has challenged us to reveal my DM secrets. So I'm working on a video specifically to accept Indestructible's challenge. And I even went so far, I kid you not, chat. I would show you my Amazon order if it didn't dox me. I ordered a new microphone for my camera so that I can record away from my desk, specifically for this video. And for some Homer videos too, but so Indestructible, I'm coming for you. Indestructible is a fellow D&D YouTuber. Make sure you go check him out. His voice is magical. That's my review of Indestructible's channel. Great homebrew. Fantastic voice. Fantastic voice. The spaghetti magic comes from this flying spaghetti monster. Years ago, I followed a few homebrews, made a dragonkin class, half dragon. Yeah, I just don't, half dragon human. I like homebrew magic items and systems. I'm not like, cause I'm a DM, right? I like homebrew magic items and systems, classes and races. I'm indifferent. It's not that I don't like them, I'm just kind of indifferent. All right, y'all, are we ready to talk about skills? We may do skills and just call it because my voice is not coming back. I don't know how to shut up. My streamer brain. It's my streamer brain, chat. It's my streamer brain. All right. Stuff that's built. Yeah, like modification, either things that aren't. I'm just not. I appreciate a good homebrew subclass. Like there was a good necromancer I saw not too long ago. Indestructible's alchemist was pretty good. I really like the mutagen mechanic. But in general, just not a fan of homebrew classes. Like the skinning stuff is, yeah, so like crafting is a great example of something that's just needed in D&D. Please keep complimenting me. Thank you for the 5, Indestructible. Pleasant voice, good homebrew alchemist. That's all I got for now. Would you ever run your own homebrew campaign? I've had a lot of people ask me to run my own homebrew campaign. Chat Plays D&D was kind of my own. I would. It's just like there's so many modules. I would run my own homebrew, but modules are great. I really love modules. You know? Modules are something that everybody can appreciate because you can, or how do I word this? Modules are something that everybody can look at and be like, oh yeah. I love the idea of modules because it's something that everyone can experience, obviously in different ways because different DMs, But for the most part, you can talk about it. You can talk about a module. Let me give you an example. Remember how earlier when I was saying when people pop into the voice chat and they start talking about their homebrew world, and it's like, you know, we're trying to play Overwatch. Imagine that same scenario, but someone pops in the voice chat and starts talking about a module that you've played. I can't tell you, like, a prime example of this would be talking about Curse of Strahd. Everybody knows Curse of Strahd. If you go in there and start talking about Curse of Strahd, like, people are going to come out of the woodwork like, oh man, Curse of Strahd is awesome. They'll start talking about like their favorite section of the module and like how their DM changed so and so. That's something that we can all get together and just share. I can't share like your homebrew. I haven't played Curse of Strahd past Death House, but we could talk about Death House, right? Bro, this is like you bring up a good example. Sizoni. Bro, remember in Death House when those freaking ghouls popped up out of the floor? Or the shades that ambush you? 5 shades, level 1 party, 8 the F up. Oh, I'm sorry. You haven't done that one yet either? Oof. Okay, well. All right, I'll shut up. I'll shut up. But yeah, man, it's like, dang, it's rough. My DM did something way different. Yeah, but see, that's something we could talk about too. Like, oh, your DM changed it. Your DM added a mimic or something, you know? We at least have the same environment. Unless your DM just like completely went off the rails, we can talk about curses. We can talk about death. That's why I like modules. Modules are a thing that we can all do and then talk about, like a video game that we can all play and then we can talk about like, oh man, you know, the Wild Beyond the Witch, Fandover's great. That green dragon was nasty. Oh yeah, dude, Venom Fang was, you know, stuff like that. That's why I like modules, because modules is something we can kind of share outside of it. D&D, but with modern homebrews. I feel like a lot of DMs do different things with Death House. I've never heard of one instance where it's the same. I mean, that's kind of one of the things that you can talk about. But yeah, I mean, I changed things. To be honest, it needs to be changed. It's so deadly. I am very new as a player. Okay. Well, welcome. All right. The time has come, chat. We're talking about skill checks. So we're talking about skill checks. Now, the purpose of this conversation is to kind of go through every skill and talk about how you can use them more in your game, kind of give them the justice, make them worth taking. I make it a point in my games to try to make every skill worth investing in my games. Like to actually like, oh, I'm proficient in this and this is what I get out of it. I hate the idea of being proficient in a skill and it never coming up. It never being used in the game. So that's kind of the purpose of this video. Is I'm going to go through each skill and just kind of tell you a way that you can constantly use this skill. It's always available. It would probably be better if I made a list so that I can like checklist this one. I kind of want to group them up. I need to group these. Acrobatics and athletics get grouped together because those are used in combat for grappling. Arcana, history, nature, religion. These are your knowledges. Give me another knowledge. We've got persuasion, intimidation. So I feel like this is how the skills should be ordered. Honestly, I would reorder the skills not in alphabetical, but by usage. So for example, athletics and acrobatics are used for grappling as well as other things. Acrobatics used for climbing, etc. These are your knowledges. These are your social skills. You got persuasion, intimidation, and deception. You got perception and investigation, all very similar. Investigation. What else we got? What am I missing here? Animal handling is its own beast. I actually really look forward to talking about that one. I do something with animal handling that I just love. I like animals, chat. Animals are cool. I think we can all agree animals are cool. And animal handling. Animal handling may be one of the best skills to take in my games. Right up there with perception and stealth. Stealth is its own beast. Sleight of hand is kind of low on the totem pole. I'm going to put sleight of hand with like performance. Survival. I'm going to put survival here. Actually, I'm going to put survival with animal handling. Yeah, I need to organize this. Survival, animal handling together? Question mark? Let me read the chat. What's chat saying? Strength. The only skill check contributes to is athletics, since hardly ever comes up. Very frustrating. Wait, athletics hardly ever comes up? So as a DM, you can add athletics so easily. I'm going to get to that, but climbing and swimming are really, you put that anywhere. You can put climbing and swimming anywhere. All right, what am I missing? We've got acrobatics, animal handling, arcana, athletics, deception, history, insight, input, insight. I'm going to put insight right here with perception, investigation. I feel like those are kind of gathering information. Intimidation, investigation, medicine. I'm going to put medicine. This is tricky. How do I group medicine? I'll group medicine up here with. So this is like something that you stealth, survival, maybe group it like this. Animal handling. Animal handling, survival, stealth, medicine. Dang, I don't really know how to. Sleight of hand. Too many people use acronym to climb and swim, and you gotta shut that down. Too many people use acrobatics to climb and swim. Yeah, it's athletics. Did I say acrobatics? My bad. Medicine is a knowledge. Yeah, I'm gonna put medicine and knowledge. That's actually good. Medicine basically only used when someone's bleeding out. You don't have a healer or healing kit, but yeah, I think medicine's pretty valuable for that alone. We'll talk about it. Medicine could be a knowledge. Medicine's tricky. We might have to keep that one separate. All right, we get everything. I made so many adjustments. I feel like I may have messed up. Acrobatics, animal handling, arcana, athletics, deception, history, insight, intimidation, investigation. Did I get intimidate? Yeah. Nature, perception, performance, religion, sleight of hand, stealth, and survival. All right. No, just adding to your thoughts. Okay, I got you. I found medicine to be more useful in a more gritty game, lacking any casters with healing. Medicine, I think medicine is valuable in that you can stabilize someone. It's not a skill. Should we start with medicine? You guys want to start with medicine? Let's talk about medicine. So medicine, the primary use, in my opinion, for medicine is to stabilize a creature. This is so valuable. This is so very valuable. The problem is you don't have to roll it very much, but when you do roll it, it's very important. I think medicine is okay where it is. I think medicine should be like the standard for other skills to look at. Like this is what we should use. So when you think about it, you may not have to use medicine very often, but it's always valuable. As long as you're going to be fighting something and you run the risk of getting knocked unconscious, medicine is going to be valuable. I don't think that needs to be adjusted at all. I think medicine is fine right where it's at. Thoughts, chat? Talk to me about it. I'd love some tips to make it more useful and impactful. Medicine specifically. So you can use it. Medicine is also good if you find a corpse and you want to know if you want to determine how something died. I think medicine is a great way. You can use medicine to identify poisons. Let's see here. I should probably do a Word document for this. I would allow medicine to identify poisons. What do you guys think of that? Would identifying poisons make it better for you? I think that makes medicine really good. Yeah. So I think identifying poisons, stabilizing dead creatures, and determining how a creature dies makes medicine just fine. I think that's got a nice little place. I would want to take. So when I'm drawing up a character, if I'm drawing up a support character, I'm almost certainly going to take medicine specifically for stabilizing a creature. Because if I can save a healing potion and stabilize somebody with a medicine check, I'm going for it. But I'd have to check the medicine kit and the healer feat to be sure. But yeah, I think medicine is solid. Acrobatics is also solid. Acrobatics is climbing and swimming. I'm dumb. I'm dumb. Athletics, my man. I just did what Klein was talking about. All right, so athletics. Athletics, I think, is amazing on its own. This is used for climbing and swimming outside of combat. If you have to climb a tree or swim in a lake, a DM can easily incorporate athletics by just adding an obstacle that needs to be climbed or a body of water that you need to swim in. In combat, athletics is used to grapple, which is huge. So athletics has a lot going on. I don't think you need to make any adjustments to this. If you want to find a use for athletic, like if you're a DM and you wanted to incorporate athletics, climbing, swimming, grapple, athletics is always going to have a place. Athletics is always worth the proficiency. Acrobatics, on the other hand, is a little bit tough. Acrobatics is balancing on a tightrope. It's stabilizing yourself on difficult terrain. Acrobatics, I would say, is a low tier skill to take. This actually could turn into a tier list. I might need to redo that. How quickly could I put together a tier list? Acrobatics, the big use for acrobatics is escaping a grapple. My problem with acrobatics, or the way that I would incorporate more uses for acrobatics, would be also escaping being tied up, escaping bondage, escaping like anything that requires your body to wiggle out of a situation. If you're tied up with a rope, if you get tangled up in vines, if you're grappled, I think acrobatics is more valuable if you use it. If you trap your players physically more often, maybe in combat, and require acrobatics to escape. So maybe add more traps to your game that will entangle your party, and make sure those traps happen in combat. Otherwise, it's just an obstacle in the way. Or a trap that maybe shoots arrows, and then there's like some stickiness that causes you to require an acrobatics to escape. So here's an idea. Here's just a ballpark idea. You're moving through a hallway. There's some kind of sticky trap on the floor. The walls have those arrow traps, that just shoot arrows. So as your party's moving through, they may get stuck in the stickiness and then get shot at by arrows. They don't have to roll anything specifically to dodge the arrows. The arrows just target their AC. But they do have to roll in acrobatics to escape the stickiness, whether it be a rope, vines, web, whatever. They have to escape the stickiness with an acrobatics and then move. You can incorporate a lot of anything that stops your player's mobility. You can have acrobatics be the way out. That's how I would incorporate more acrobatics. The description for a net requires a strength check. Yeah, I think that's to break the net. I would also allow acrobatics for that. That would be a good way to change it as well. Stealth. Stealth needs nothing. Stealth is already one of the strongest skills in the game. You really don't need to add anything to it. This needs nothing. Don't change this. If anything, I wouldn't say nerf it, but don't change it. Just leave stealth the way it is. It's such a great skill on its own. You never need to make any adjustments to this. It's an S tier. You are right. It is an S tier skill. This will never not be a good skill to take. This can be used in combat. This can be used a million different ways. Survival. All right. Survival is another one. Survival can be used for tracking. Anytime you're out in the wild, anytime you're traveling, survival is a great skill. You can identify like plants, animals. Survival is a really great. Tracking is huge. Survival has a lot of uses. I don't think you need to make any changes to this as well. If you want to incorporate more survival checks, or if you want more uses for survival, if you want to make sure your survivalists are getting the most out of it, foraging is a good one. Hardly anyone uses like eating though, like the food rules. Survival will obviously really shine in a survival type game where hunger is an issue. But if you're just running your everyday game, you can use survival to track. Survival would be the best to identify tracks, to figure out which way the tracks are going, and to figure out what left those tracks. That alone, I think, makes survival worth it. If you allow your players to approach a dungeon and then, all right, if the player says, I'm looking around for tracks, like, okay, roll it. You can set a DC for determining where the tracks lead, and you can set a DC for what left those tracks. Survival, I think, is good on its own. Animal handling. Now, I have played a lot of D&D. Is it handle animal? It used to be handle animal. Now it's animal handling. If you hear me say handle animal, I mean animal handling. It used to be called handle animal. I have played a lot of D&D games, and I feel like animal handling is not done well enough. It may be me. I might use animal handling too much. But let me tell you, animals are awesome. And animals are everywhere. So one piece of advice that I have for you, that I try to do as much as possible. If you watch my D&D streams, if you watch my D&D games where I DM, you'll see me do this a lot. I want to do it every time I describe a room. Every time I set the scene for where the players are, I add some kind of animal to the scene. Some kind of animal to the scene. It doesn't have to be something crazy. You don't have to add a T-Rex to every forest, every campsite. Add some kind of animal. The reason you do this is for world building, for one. You can just add a unique animal. If you want to keep it simple, you set up camp for the night. There's birds and squirrels in the trees. Boom. Done. That's all you have to say. But you can build on that. You can add some like crazy, unique, exotic animal. You could say like there's a unique beetle with like a red strip down its back that's unique to this region. It's pushing a ball of dirt around, you know? Add unique animals, and then have animal handling will always have a use. Another reason I do this is because there are a lot of features. Another reason that I add animals to every scene is because there are a lot of class features and race features that interact with animals specifically. Speak with animals. If you set an animal in every scene, the players will always have a use for speak with animals. They will always, so that scene that I gave earlier with the beetle, I'm going to cast speak with animals. I'm going to ask the beetle if there's anything dangerous around. Oh, it's great. That makes speak with animals so good. I love characters that deal with animals. Speak with animals, animal friendship. Forest gnomes have the ability to communicate simple ideas with animals. Furbolgs also can speak with animals. There's so many different features that deal with animals specifically. This skill is amazing. Use it. Use it. Use it. Use it. Use it. What do you think about cats not having dark sight? I don't know. If you're a DM, put animals in every single scene. Unless they're like in the void of space, describe an animal, put them somewhere. Put a beetle in the campsite, put a spider in the corner. If they're in a cave, put a spider in the corner. If they're in the desert, put a scorpion under a rock. Describe a lizard on the wall, a squirrel in the tree, a bird singing, a cat. If they're in town, a cat runs by. Anything. You can do so much with this. There are so many spells that deal with animals. Just do it. Just do it. I was reading ranger spells the other night, and one of them lets you send a message to an animal. Exactly. Put more animals in the scene. Put an animal in every scene. Unless it just makes zero sense, like the vacuum of space, or you're on the moon or something, or you're in the elemental plane of fire, and put an animal in every scene. And even then, you could be like, there's a fire lizard or something crawling around. A space whale. If you're in the vacuum of space, there's a space whale. I don't know. I like adding animals to every scene because there's so many things that deal with animals. And they're great. They make great NPCs. If you you can give an animal a personality. You don't have to go crazy with it. If they awaken an animal, if they cast speak with animals, boom, you've got another NPC for them to interact with. You can add a voice. You can add a personality. You can add a quest. Example, we set up camp. All right, you set up camp, yada, yada. The trees are brown. The weather's nice. There's a spider in the tree building a web. Okay, I want to cast speak with animals. I'm going to ask the spider, is there anything going on? What's around here? The spider's like, hey, what's up, bud? I'll tell you, there's goblins set up in a cave nearby, not far from here. I don't know if you can go that far with animal handling. I got to check speak with animals again. But they can communicate like hostiles north. This has so much potential. I get a little carried away with it, I will admit, but by the book, they can say hostiles north. Or hostiles in that direction. Okay, moving on. Sleight of hand. I don't know how to make this good. Sleight of hand is for pickpocketing specifically. If you have a character that takes sleight of hand, give them commoners to steal from. Give them commoners to pickpockets. Come up with a loot table. So here's what you need to do. If a player takes sleight of hand proficiency, there's two tables that I want you to come up with. What happens when they get caught, and what do they find in the pockets? So have a little loot table. They can find like a little doll. They can find they can have a really rare or really low chance of finding a magic. Maybe put 1% chance of finding a magic item. That'd be sick. Could you imagine, like, especially if you roll it in front of them? Especially if you roll this in front of them. Tell them that you have a chart. You may even show them. So if you have a sleight of hand chart, what I would personally do is show the chart to the player. I would say, here's the chart. It's a percentile. You have one in 100. There's 100 things on the die roll. If you get under 20, something bad happens. If you get 100, you find a magic item. Just show them the chart. All right, here you go. You can have some fun with that. And like, they can't just spam it. Like, okay, what's in their pocket? What's in their pocket? What's in their... You just give them one a day. Like, okay, you're in town, you're pickpocketing, boom. Give them give them a little bit of extra loot. These are your knowledges. Treat all these the same. Arcana, history, nature, religion. These are all the same. So incentivize them to do this? Yeah. I mean, that's the point of the skill. Would push PCs to use their chosen skills more? Incentivize them? Absolutely. That's the point of the skill. Incentivize them. Incentivize them to do it. If they get caught, you know, they get a slap on the wrist, maybe get a fine. You could fine them. Put that on the chart. Put that on your chart. If you create a chart for your pickpocketer, you could say, okay, this is what you can get from pickpocketing. I'm not going to tell, and you can keep it as vague or specific as you like. You could put something, you could write on the chart something 1 to 20, something bad. You don't have to be specific. 90 to 100, something magical. Right? You do something like that. And then you go like 21 to 89, some coin. Boom. I just made your chart for you. Show this to your rogue or whoever's pickpocketing. Be like, here you go. And then set a DC. Maybe DC 15. DC 15. All right, roll your sleight of hand. All right, you got a 15. Roll a percentile. Something bad, some coin, something magical. Oh, you failed? You get caught. You get fined. Boom. Super easy. Done. Money and trinkets in between the rest. Okay. Arcana, history, nature, religion. These are knowledges, treat them all the same. This can be used to identify creatures. You can use religion or arcana to identify undead. History to identify goblins, bugbears, monstrosities, animals, etc. Or nature's for animals. Nature would be for animals, fae. There's a list in Tasha's. Let me pull up Tasha's. There's a really good list in Tasha's that I recommend you use for this. Specifically, it's what I use for this. Tasha's parlaying with monsters. Here we go. So aberrations would be arcana. Beast would be nature or survival or animal handling. I would just do nature for beasts. I've already talked about how good. Animal handling should be to control the beast. Survival's got other uses. Celestial is arcana religion. Construct is arcana. And then here's your list. Elemental. There's a lot of arcana in nature. You got some religion in there. History for giants and humanoids. I wouldn't put survival in there, but that's up to you. If you want to give survival more uses, if you feel like my explanation for survival didn't have enough stuff, throw it in there. Another great thing to do with skill checks is to have 2 skills per check. If you ask for a skill check, give them an option between 2 skills. The only reason that I don't like doing this is because if you have what's really great about having every skill mean something is that when your party's making their characters, they can say, okay, I've got nature covered if you'll cover history. I've got sleight of hand covered if you'll take medicine. That way, if your party gets together and makes sure every skill's covered, you've done your job. I've done my job as a DM. If all the players get together and be like, all right, we need to make sure all the skills are covered, then I've done my job as a DM. It's great to give them options. Like, okay, do you want to identify these ancient infernal runes? Okay, roll me an arcana or religion. Your choice. You don't think that's metagamey if they try that? I would much rather my players metagame their skills like that than to step on each other's toes. I would much rather one player go, okay, I'm going to specialize in acrobatics if you specialize in athletics. Or let me rephrase. I would much rather my players go, I'm going to specialize in history if you specialize in nature. I would much rather them do that than, okay, we need a nature check. Well, I've got a +3. Well, I've got a +3. So who's our nature guy? I don't want them butting heads on who the nature guy is. And one player, more times or more often than not, one player will relent and be like, okay, you can be the nature guy. That's fine. But then that player's effectively picked a useless skill. Almost every single skill here, almost every one of them, if you have 2 players covering a skill, they can give each other advantage. If you have 2 players proficient in medicine, they can give the other one advantage. That's fine. Athletics, survival is a good one. Animal handling for sure. You can give advantage. Sleight of hand. Knowledges are the only one that's like. Can we help each other with this one? I'm okay with it. I need to be okay with it because like you can discuss things. I might change that. In my games, I usually do knowledges specifically. You can't help, but maybe I should, but only if you're proficient. Same thing with these. You can help each other. This gives the opportunity for 2 players to take the same proficiency in a skill and then help each other out with that skill. Metagaming can be useful to a point. Yeah, because D&D is a cooperative game, and I don't want my players stepping on each other's toes. I want each player to have a thing that they do and that's their thing and they stand out. I don't want players butting heads over who's doing what. So I'm totally okay with metagaming the skill proficiencies as long as it makes sense for their character in order to cover their bases. Okay with it. Perception, investigate, insight. Oh, no, excuse me. I skipped over. Persuasion, intimidate, deception are all social skill checks. If you're trying to convince somebody to do something, it's persuasion. Super easy. If you're trying to scare them into doing something, maybe you're literally interrogating, maybe you've beaten up the gang of goblins, you've captured one of them and now you're trying to get information out of them, intimidate. If you're playing good cop, bad cop, you got persuasion, you got intimidate. If you're trying to lie, deception. These are all super useful. These are all dependent on your players. As a DM, you can put these skill checks in here as much as you like, but really it's going to come down and have this conversation with your players. If you take these skills, these are up to you to use. You have to be upfront with this one. I want to try to persuade this person to do this. I'm going to try and intimidate him to do this. Lying, obviously. Deception is really funny. I've noticed that players do not like to lie to NPCs. So deception is really tough. Sometimes they do. Like, obviously, sometimes they will. They're trying to bluff their way past a guard or something. But deception, players don't like to lie. And it's interesting. Knowledge for long campaigns, allowing some of the story to be told if they succeed. I do like to say that you're playing a game, not running a simulation. Facts. I always offer persuasion or intimidate to kind of set the tone the PC is going for. Yeah, it's a good point. Because that would be another thing. If a player is like big and brutish, but talking, if the player is just talking like, "Hey, guard, can we pass?" In that scenario, I might say, "Okay, you can roll either a persuasion or intimidation, your choice." And all you have to do is ask it that way, and they'll know what that means. Are you trying to be nice? Or are you trying to scare them? Are you trying to be mean? This says a lot. These skills don't need any changes, in my opinion. Neither do the knowledges. I think these are useful in their own right. Don't need to make any changes. Insight, perception, investigation. Perception is a very, very powerful skill. It is arguably the most powerful skill in the game. I've seen DMs run entire games with perception checks every 5 minutes. When I first started playing D&D, I swear to you, perception was the skill to take. When I first started playing D&D, the people that taught me D&D, if you were drawing up a character, and I was playing wizards at this time. I was really big into wizards. They did not have perception on their list. Which sucked because I'm telling you, these DMs, it was a perception check for everything. Don't do this. Don't be that DM. Do not be the DM that's like, okay, roll a perception. Okay, you don't see anything. 5 minutes later, okay, roll a perception. Okay, you see this. Don't do that. Players don't like to lie. Tables differ. Mine are very smooth and lie to everyone that isn't a good NPC. That's good. That's good. That's cool. So they have a really good use for deception. I like that. Perception is always double S tier. Yes, perception is probably the best skill in the game. No matter like it's just perception's used to notice stealth. Perception's used to notice anything that's trying to be hidden. You use it to search rooms. A lot of the times, I will allow investigation. Like if a party member says, "Okay, I'm searching the room." Okay, you can roll a perception or investigation, your choice. I almost always use these two interchangeably. Perception's wisdom, investigation's intelligence. If you're searching for something, searching a bookshelf or a chest or whatever, investigation. But really, like perception and investigation are kind of interchangeable. What I don't like is when people use perception to notice something that you can't miss. I've had story time. I've had a DM that had me roll a persuasion. I was in a wagon. We were traveling. My character was on a wagon playing a wizard. I had a familiar that was a raven flying overhead, and I specifically said the raven was scouting, keeping an eye out. The DM had me roll a perception. I rolled low. I think I got a 9, single digits, something low. I didn't spot a little kid run up to the cart. This kid wasn't sneaking. The kid just ran up to the cart. I'll never forget this because it was one of those moments where I was like, Jesus, I hate perception. I hate this. It's like, how did I miss this? Little kid ran up to the cart. And I remember asking the DM, I was like, so is the kid trying to be sneaky? And he's like, no, the kid just runs up to the cart. It's like, how did I miss that? I mean, I got like a raven flying overhead that's like specifically watching. I mean, I get it. I missed it. But what was the point? So the kid didn't attack. The kid literally ran up to the cart and started talking to us. It was just so weird. Like, even though I failed the check, I was like, why did we make the check in the first place? Like, what is this? Why are we doing this? Why did I roll this? What would have happened if I succeeded? I would have seen the kid run up and talk to us. It was just so weird. I just really didn't like it. I see this a lot in games. Too much perception. Anyway, investigation. Insight is used a lot as a lie detector. I don't mind it in my games. I get why some people don't like it in their games. It really depends on how much you want to lie, how much information you want to give to your players. I like giving tons of information to my players. I like my players knowing everything and being able to make informed tactical decisions based off of all the information that's available. I love that. That's fun. This makes insight very useful in my games. Some people don't like that. I've played with DMs that will like keep everything hidden, and you're just kind of lost. Like, oh, what the hell's going on here? Different strokes, different styles. Insight is used to determine the demeanor of an NPC that's like communicating. Body language it's used to read body language. The mileage of insight is really going to come down to the thing you need to remember about insight is there to give information. The purpose of this skill is to provide information to the party. I roll an insight. Are they lying? Exactly. The purpose of this skill is to give information. If you ask for an insight check, you're doing so that you can provide the player information. Whether that be this NPC is lying, this NPC is clearly lying to you, or this NPC is clearly telling the truth. This could also be this NPC is clearly nervous about something, or this MP is definitely hiding something. I don't know. That like anything that you can pick up from body language can be used for insight. In response to that story, I think it was a Jenny D video that said there should be no roll if there's no consequence for failing the check. Oh my gosh. Jenny D coming in with the absolute best advice. There should be no roll if there is no consequence for failure. I agree 100%. It's actually another video I got coming up real soon. Do not roll the dice for no freaking reason. Just stop it. Stop it. Get some help.
That is an important situation. Don't roll the dice for no reason. And that's all the skills. Listen, I know some of you want me to cover performance. You want me to tell you a good way to use performance. There isn't one. I don't understand this skill. Performance is for putting on a show. What do you get out of putting on that show? I don't know. I don't use performance at all. I think there's specific class features that use performance, like bards have specific class features. But performance to me, you know what? Here's what you're going to do. Here's what you do with performance. I think here's what I'm going to do. Remember how I said with sleight of hand to make a chart? I think you should do that with performance. I think performance and sleight of hand should be together. I'm going to put those together. Performance and sleight of hand are skills that you can use in town or away from dungeons at the hub. Skills that you can use at the hub in order to add additional loot, like just another loot table. That's how I would use those. That's about the best use I can think of. So the player can say, I'm going to do a performance. I'm going to try and make some coin. You can show them the chart, the same chart or a different chart, similar to your sleight of hand chart, and roll off of that. Performance is probably the bottom tier skill. Many DMs use sleight of hand to pick locks. That's interesting. That's interesting. I mean, I guess getting rid of the tool and just making it a skill, I guess that's a thing. That's a thing you could do. Could do that. That would make sleight of hand a little bit better. It also gets rid of thieves' tools, though. Does that DM require thieves' tools to use sleight of hand to pick locks? Because that would kind of be like, is sleight of hand required to do that? I think he did. That makes a little bit more sense because thieves' tools are kind of special. Only artificers and rogues get them coming into the game. All right, so that's my list. That is what I do with skills. That is what I recommend you do with skills. I think everything that we covered just now is a good way to use skills and make them worth the proficiency. Because when you're building a character and you're trying to make a choice of what skills you want to be proficient in, you want the skills you choose to be useful. And I think what we just covered here is a good way to make all of these skills worth their proficiency. At least that's what I hope we accomplished. Make sure if you're in the chat right now watching live, leave a comment or let me know in the chat. If you're watching the VOD, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. How you would change some of these skills. If you added new ones, took away, or improved on them in any way, let me know. And let me know what you think of what we covered here. I like if you have proficiency with a skill, but not with the tool, you can still add your proficiency bonus. I don't get the point of glass blowers. Neither do I. Neither do I. I don't get it either. Double damage to glass. Wow. Wow. It's amazing. Let me read it again. It's double damage to glass, right? Like when would you use that? Let me ask you something. I've been playing D&D for a long time. When's the last time your DM ever asked you to roll an attack roll and damage against a window? How much HP does a window have? When would you ever need to do double damage? So first of all, when would you roll an attack roll against a window? Is it like 1 to 5 hit points? I'm leaving a live comment. Beat that, VOD viewers. Maybe more if tempered. Yeah, I guess so. But that's like we have to, at that point, we're engineering a very specific scenario just for our glassblower tools. Like, okay, this glass is tempered
and you're in. So not only does the glass have to be tempered, but also with 1 minute of study, here's the problem. I forgot about this 1 minute of study. You can identify the weak point in a glass object. Any damage dealt to the object by a striking weapon spot is doubled. Here's the thing. If you're in combat, you're not going to spend 10 rounds studying the weak point of a glass object. Okay? If you're in combat, that's 10 rounds. If you're not in combat, then you're not rolling attack rolls. Right? If you're not in combat, if there's no threat to you, and if there's no immediate threat to you, and you're just standing outside a window, you just keep attacking the window till it breaks. Could you imagine? I'm trying to imagine the scenario in my head. Maybe we have different, maybe our heads are in different situations. So let's line up our thought process here, chat. Let's make sure that we're all on the same page. All right. We're standing outside a building that we're trying to get into. The building's locked. This window is our way in. All right? This window is our way in. DM, I want to break the window. Okay, roll an attack roll. Okay. 4. You missed. Okay. What happens? You missed. Nothing. You just missed the window. Can I try again? Yeah. 13. All right, you hit the window. Give me some damage. All right. 2. Not quite enough. What happens? It cracks. Okay. Can I try again? Yeah. So what were we just talking about earlier? Remember when we were talking about Jenny D and she said, stop rolling dice that have no consequence? That would be an example of dice that have no consequence. We're just going to roll it again. We're just going to keep attacking the window till it breaks. If they miss the AC, I just say they cut their hand. So they're taking damage for missing? Yeesh. What if with 1 minute you can break the glass quietly? See, y'all are reading between the lines. Y'all are adding more to it. So this is the example. I want you to pay. I want everyone to pay attention to what's happening to chat right now. Chat is changing things to make it better. That's the point, right? Chat is like, okay, what if when we miss we take damage? What if we study it we can break it quietly? Y'all are adding to it, right? That's my point. Like, this sucks as by itself. If you add stuff to it, sure, we can make it a lot better. But we have to. But think about that scenario we just ran through. Think about that scenario that we just ran through, chat. What the hell are we doing at this window? If we're in combat, that's different. Like, it's like we have to sit here and like develop a scenario where where we can make this tool work. It's just unbelievable. Stop holding up the damn game. Exactly. Stop holding. Y'all know me, man. Like, at this point, if that scenario was real, if that was really happening to me, I would just look at the DM and be like, what are you doing? Like, did you not prepare for this session? Are you trying to stall? Are we stalling? What's on the other side of the window? Can we just get to that? I don't want to sit here and I don't want to sit here and attack this window. I don't care about the glass blower tools. Can we just get in? Can we just get in the warehouse and see what's, why are we spending so much time on this window? I just straight up, like, I don't care about this window. What is the deal? What are you doing? So I bring that up. What I would do is my players approach the warehouse and they're like, okay, we need to get in. The doors are locked. Okay. We could try to pick the lock or we could go for the window. All right, DM, what's through the window? All right. You peek through the window and you can see the crates. The building appears empty. All right. I'm going to break the window. Okay, you give it a good elbow. Psst, the window breaks. You now have a way inside. Done. Moving on. Moving forward. The game progresses. We can go to the next scene now. You can also identify the source of the glass. Yes, sand. Yes. You can the source of the glass. I'm not saying that this is I'm poking fun because of how much I'm poking fun at this skill or this tool because of how much work it takes to make it useful. Like, okay, you identify the glass. It looks like a potion from Kilbrew's shop. Thank goodness. Now we have a clue. Now we have a follow-up. Rolling below AC doesn't necessarily mean missing. A low roll against a heavily clad enemy just means you hit the yeah. If you don't hit AC, I love that too. I'll do that sometimes when my players miss. I'll say that they like if you shoot an arrow but you miss, it's like, all right, your arrow strikes the armor and doesn't penetrate. Maybe they meant the region where the sand came from. My question is, which die for what check? This glass from the broken window. All right, this glass in front of the broken window appears to have come from this broken window. Yep. Keep glassblower's tools alive, chat. But see, when you compare this to some of the other tools, it's disgusting. Woodcarver's tools allows you to literally craft arrows. As a short rest, you get 5 arrows. A long rest, you get a full frickin' quiver. This is useful. This is amazing. This is the standard for tools, in my opinion. You can craft frickin' arrows. Thieves' tools, we don't even have to talk about that. That's Poisoner's Kit, 100%. What about Tinkers? So I think Tinkers is unique, has something unique with Artificers, the class. I haven't really looked at Tinkers because I know Artificers use Tinkers for their inventions. I think Artificers can literally use Tinker's tools as a supplement for every other tool, which is amazing. But I may be misremembering. You can determine the age and origin of an object. I believe Tinkers can heal. You can heal damaged object. Huge. This is huge. You can heal constructs. Huge. Absolutely huge. Absolutely useful. Gunslinger uses Tinkers for guns. Nice. All right. Do we have time for another one before my voice just goes completely gone? I want to talk about talking with your DM. Does your voice have the HP? It's cool. Have a pet construct. Make a con check. My voice is about to give out. The dang sickness. The dead gum Rona. It's killing me, chat. Killing me. I'm gonna die from the Rona. Okay. So can my character be a warlock, but I get bard spells instead? Also, I'm a half dragon, centaur. Roll to talk to your dungeon master. No fun. How you doing, bud? What are you up to? What you got going on this Thursday night? Chad, how we doing? Before we move on, I want to talk about something while I let my voice rest. Another Sam stream, yay! What's up, DC? How you doing? Ran another Radiant Citadel. That's awesome. As is the way of our people. Staying on top of them modules. Use the Glassblowers toolkit with the Woodworkers to make +1 arrowheads. Huge. Huge. I want to talk about how beautiful you look today, Sam. Today? You look beautiful today. Got a cowlick in the back. Where's Homer? Homer looks beautiful. He's away. I could never talk to Sam. He scares me. Oh boy. What class are you really into currently? Artificer. Really digging the Artificer lately. Only 4 more adventures left. You said you had Wizard phase. What phase we in now? Yeah, I think I would say Artificer. I mean, I don't really play D&D. I mostly DM. I don't get to play D&D, so I would love to have a phase. My phase right now is DM, Dungeon Master. Does anyone use paper minis, and what paper do you print them on? Beautiful every day. Thanks, bud. Thanks, bud. What's been your favorite Radiant Citadel adventure so far? No fun. What's been your favorite adventure? Favorite and least favorite? I already know what you're going to say. You're going to be like, ooh, they're all great. They're all great. I don't have a least favorite. Humor me. I worded it wrong. He's beautiful every day. Thank you. Insight check. I want to insight that. So far, my favorite has been chapter 3. Chapter 3. So far, my favorite has been the Mexico one, the one the one that we did this week, and that we're going to do tomorrow. That one's been my favorite so far, but I think next week's, I'm not going to lie. Reading through next week's adventure, it's kind of meh. I'm feeling kind of meh about it. So that one may be a dud. We'll see. I felt that way about a lot of Candlekeep adventures until I ran them, and then I was like, oh man, it's actually badass. Oh my gosh. Ugh. All right, y'all ready? Y'all ready to talk to your DM? Are y'all ready to communicate? Do you change or add anything with the adventure when the adventure sounds meh on paper, or do you run it a few times to get a sort of idea of what it is? It depends. If there's something that if there's something that stands out to me as obviously needs to be changed, I'll change it. So for example, I didn't like the order of chapter 1. Chapter 1, the night market, the kind of flow of the chapter I didn't like, so I changed it. I changed it right away as soon as I read it. But there's some examples where I'll read it and I'll think, let's see how it goes. And then I'll run the adventure. As you get more experience with the DM, you can kind of like read the chapters and understand what's going to happen and how long it'll take and the direction things will go. But I actually still got blindsided with this one, with this last adventure. This last adventure had a bunch of bounty hunters attack the party, and then they introduced the NPC. And the party wanted to deal with my Monday group was like, let's deal with those bounty hunters instead of like the plague. It was really threw me off. I wasn't expecting that. It made sense, and I was like, that's why I was like, man, but really threw me off. Threw me for a loop, I should say. Roll an insight to know what snacks to bring to bribe your DM. All right. So you're playing in-person D&D. You got to come up with some snacks. Here's how you blow the table away. You go to Taco Bell, not sponsored, and you get the party pack of tacos. I had somebody do that one time. Changed the game. Absolutely changed everything. You got the people, like, you assume people are going to bring like 12-pack of Cokes, or, you know, you're going to assume everybody brings drinks and potato chips, you know, Mountain Dew, whatever. But man, I had somebody bring like the party pack of tacos. This is actually how I was introduced. I didn't know this party pack. It's like a 12-pack of soft tacos. And I mean, a soft taco always hits. Like, just a big box of tacos. Oh my gosh, man. That was like, what a giga Chad. Absolutely won the snack bringing contest. It was indeed a game changer when your warlock did that. Let me tell you. Taco Bell sponsored me, because like now everybody's thinking Taco Bell, including me. With a Baja Blast. See, I get the Baja Blast freeze. I like that slushy on a hot day. A slushy for a hot day. Ooh-wee. Let me tell you something, chat. Slushy on a hot day. Man, whatever happened to ices? You guys ever had an icy? Speaking my lingo. Been getting mango whip freeze. I'll have to try that. Sounds like my jam. Sounds like a jam. Sounds like something I can get into. All right, I was going to do rolling dice tonight, but my voice is just killing me. So let's just do how to talk to your DM, and then we're going to close it out there. Okay. So I have played a lot of Dungeons and Dragons, and from my experience, players do not communicate their needs with their dungeon master enough. Now, I acknowledge that I run a lot of players for the first time, like people that I've never interacted with, so that may have something to do with it. Hopefully it's not because I'm creating an environment where they don't want to communicate. Hopefully that's not the case. But I'm hoping that it's just because I'm running new people. But it's important to have that environment to where your players want to communicate with you as a DM, because being a DM is a lot like being in a relationship with those players. And if you ever punish them for communicating with you, if you ever punish your players for like expressing themselves, then they're not going to want to do that. And just like in a relationship, if your partner doesn't feel like they can communicate with you, dead in the water, no shot. So it's the same thing with your players. And some examples. So this video is mainly for players that want to communicate, or advice for players to communicate with their DM. But DMs should acknowledge the fact that they need to create an environment for players to want to communicate with them. So why do I say that, and what do I mean by communicating with your DM? There are things that you want from your character that your DM may not know. It may not be obvious to you. And I can just throw some examples right off the bat. There may be a specific monster in the monster manual that you've always wanted to fight. There may be a magic item that you've always wanted to have, a spell, all kinds of things. It's important that you communicate the things that you want to your DM. No matter how, as a DM, I can tell you, no matter how ridiculous your request is, tell me and I will weave it into my game. For example, I have played a game. I was really big into Sekiro at the time of this game. For those of you that don't know, Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice. It is a FromSoft game where you play as like a shinobi and you get your arm cut off and you got to run around with a prosthetic. I was really into Sekiro when I was playing this D&D game. So I drew up a monk and modeled him after Sekiro. And I asked my DM specifically if at some point in the game I could have my arm chopped off and get a prosthetic. It sounds weird, right? But I thought that would be really cool to have like a prosthetic. I'm going for the Sekiro vibe. And my DM took that one step further, and we had had me duel another shinobi with a katana. And it was it was awesome. It was really cinematic. So that's kind of an example of something that I've done where I communicate with my DM and I was like, it was really rewarding. So do that. From what I've seen, you give space to the players. What's up, CO? I haven't seen you in a minute, bud. What do you mean give space to the players? In a good way or a bad way? Would you still have any of the prosthetic details around? Like what? Would you still have any of the prosthetic details? You talking about all the shinobi, like all the abilities that Sekiro gets? Like if it had attachments? See, I wasn't thinking, so me personally, I wasn't thinking that far. Because that sounded more like I wanted benefits for having, like, all I wanted was for it to like have a cinematic event happen where my arm gets cut off and I had to go and either build my own. So I asked the DM specifically, I can't remember where we landed on it because it was a while ago, but I remember asking the DM specifically if I could learn how to build a prosthetic arm and then go through the process of crafting it myself, or if I ended up finding one in a shop. I honestly don't remember. But yeah. Good way, I meant that you don't push the players and haven't seen you negatively react to anything. Like a homebrew weapon. Yeah. Okay, cool. You just wanted to story and aesthetic of it. Exactly. Yeah, I just wanted to, yeah. Which is why I was really comfortable with asking this, because I wasn't asking for anything mechanical. Well, actually, technically, I was asking for something mechanical because I was asking for a magic. I mean, it's technically a magic item. But yeah, I was just like, and I told my DM, I laid it all out for him. I was like, look, I'm playing Sekiro, and I want to get that like FromSoft arm cut off and get like an awesome prosthetic, and I want a katana. They're like, yeah. So they totally put that together. It was awesome. I love that. I would love for players to do that for me. If there's a monster, because otherwise I'm just gonna come up with stuff, or I'm just gonna run the module. If I see a player doing something, going in a direction, and I can pick up on the direction that they're going, I will facilitate everything I can for that direction. So for example, I saw, most recently, one of my players is playing not a sea elf, not a triton, water genasi. One of my players is playing a water genasi paladin. So I started adding, and they did like a lot of aquatic aesthetics with their armor. I was like, okay, that's why I made changes to the tridents, and I added some sound effects, some sea-like sound effects for their smite. Like whenever they smite, I do like a thunderclap whenever they smite. When you imagine a paladin smiting, you usually have like this holy radiant light, but because they were doing like a sea theme, I wanted to make it more, just like helping the player along to achieve, their vision. If you communicate things like that with your DM, you can go so much farther. That was just what I picked up on from watching them play. Sometimes some players may want to ride a unicorn, incorporate a unicorn. Some players have always wanted to fight a beholder or a mind flayer. Find a way to make that work. Prosthetic could be technically considered a mechanical arm if you involve clockworks. Sure. Would you allow a player to learn how to build a weapon without going into Artificer? Sure. All right, wait. Would I allow a player, let me answer this like directly. Would you allow the players to learn how to build a weapon without going into Artificer? If there is an Artificer in the party, no. I would have the Artificer learn how to build the weapon because that's thematic for an Artificer, and they would build that weapon for the party. So, for example, in that game that I described where I was a monk and my arm got cut off, if we had had an Artificer in the game, I would have requested that the DM have that Artificer build me an arm instead of me building it myself. But because we didn't have an Artificer or we didn't have anybody that was thematically a crafter, I built it myself. Oh, that'd be cool. But if there was somebody in the game that was their thing, crafting stuff was their thing, they should be the one to do it. Make them because that's their thing. That's like, this is what my character, this is my class fantasy. I'm an Artificer. I like building stuff. I would 100% move that towards them. What player doesn't want to ride a unicorn? Right. So if I have a player request that makes sense. Not force a story on another shopkeeper. Right. Yeah. How cool would it be if my arm got cut off and in D&D? How cool would it be if my arm got cut off in D&D and then the DM was like sends a message to the player like, hey, you think that you can solve this issue by creating a prosthetic. And then that becomes like a whole a whole arc for me and the Artificer player to like go on this quest. The Artificer's researching this schematic. The Artificer's taking measurements of like my shoulder and my arm length to make sure that they match. Oh, that would be so cool. That would be so thematic. We didn't have an Artificer in that game, but it would have been so cool. That would have been so freaking cool. I would have loved that. But yeah, stuff like that. So if there's a specific magic item that you want, write it down, give it to your DM, say, I want this. Do not, so I'm going to tell you as a DM, if you request a magic item that does nothing but increase the numbers, I'm just going to gloss over it. That's not going to be a priority. If you request for example, a cloak of protection, clip that arm bit. If you request, for example, a cloak of protection, ring of protection, the stat books, +1 weapon, all of these magic items that all they do is just have a straight stat increase, that's not interesting to me. That's boring. That just makes it to where that just makes the numbers go up. That doesn't change your gameplay at all. But if you say something like, I really want to have more mobility in combat. Can I have once per day Misty Step or something? That would be awesome. That I could see like thematic, or maybe you're doing like a specific thematic thing, like, oh, I'm a firebender. Can I have access to some of these fire cantrips? Heck yeah, dude. Heck yeah. Stuff like that. That like changes your gameplay style. Straight stat increases, that's boring. Like, okay, you got +1 AC. Do you feel better now? Like, all right, great. Has your character been fully fleshed out now that you have +1 AC? I only use stat increase. I don't mean to sound insulting. I only use stat increase items like that. Ring of protection, cloak of protection, stat books, +1 weapon. I only use those to bring up the weaker characters who haven't built their characters as strong as other players. Like, maybe you're in a group of people and some of them min-maxed and some of them didn't. Or maybe there's a new player who's still figuring things out and their character's kind of weak. They're not doing as much damage as the other characters. They're really falling behind. I'm going to give them straight stat increases. I'm just going to straight influx, +1 weapon, ring of protection, whatever. So using it to even out power levels. Exactly. I use those stat increase magic items to even out the power levels. I need a Vorpal Dagger to enact my backstory. Yeah. Vorpal isn't that 5% to cut their head off. I guess if it kills a big bad evil guy, it'd be kind of rough. Or shoes of striding and springing. Yeah, the boots of stride and springing are pretty good. I think those increase your jump. But see, like a ring of jumping would be a good example. Like, oh, DM, I want to do like this kind of. I want to play a ninja. Can I have a ring of jumping? Can you put a ring of jumping in the loot somewhere? Or the cloak of the bat or something? We're gonna do like some ninja stuff. I want to do ninja stuff. I want some throwing stars too. Maybe some poison. Like all that, dude. Like if I got that message, I tell you, if I got 2 messages from different players, one of them was like, hey, can I have a ring of protection +1? And the other one was like, hey, I'm playing a ninja. Can I get some shurikens with like some poison and maybe something to let me climb and like jump around rooftops and stuff? I'm going to eat that ninja's message up. I'm going to be like, yes, you're going to have all kinds of shadowy stuff. I'm going to put literal ninja clans in the game. You're going to have like, I'm going to take it and I'm just going to run with it. I'm going to go absolutely insane. There's gonna be ninja clans. I'm gonna come up with unique weapons. There's gonna be like katas. I'm gonna go play Ninja Gaiden and like pull a whole bunch of weapons from that. I'm gonna go absolutely insane. The person that sent me the question, like, hey, can I have a +1 weapon? We'll see. I'm out pretty late over here. You take it easy, gone. I would like Ring of Jumping if I get sneak attack on the way down. Throwing stars always sounded like darts to me, just reflavored. Sure. I think they're in Xanathar's reflavored. Yeah, like a pouch, maybe a pouch of throwing stars that they can refill, like it refills every day. Oh man, so cool. Or returning shuriken. Or maybe they've been watching. Well, all right, chat. Don't make fun of me. Which anime has the massive shuriken? There's a character. I want to say it's a girl. She has a massive shuriken. It's like as big as she is. Is it Naruto? Really? Naruto. All of you are saying Naruto. Is it really? All right, hold on. I'll know it. What's her name? Tintin? Because I was sitting here thinking it was where's her shuriken? Where's her massive shuriken of doing? Oh, I feel like I'm gonna need to turn safe search on. All right, I have a question. This isn't the character I'm thinking of. Is this her? I don't think this is her. What was the name of that anime? All right. Well, anyway, massive shuriken. This isn't who I'm thinking of, chat. You failed me. I thought you were a bunch of weebs, chat. What happened? Massive shuriken anime. This isn't it. Why isn't this it? Inuyasha. That's what I'm trying to think of. Thank you. Inuyasha is where I saw that. Who's the character? That's the one. Could have sworn it was from Inuyasha. Sango. Oh, it's a boomerang. Okay. Memory's a fickle thing, chat. She had a boomerang, lol. Now my weebness is being challenged. That's not a shuriken, it's a boomerang. I know, chat. I misremembered it. You know how long it's been? I was in high school the last time I saw this show. I was getting confused. But this is who I was trying to think of. She had a massive boomerang, not a shuriken. Thank you. Thank you, weebs. I stand corrected. Your weebness has been you failed me. We're all becoming bad weebs. Slides up. Actually, Stilly, that's a boomerang. You go back to your dubs. Okay, go back to your dubbed anime, scrub. Leave the manga to the rest of us. We're also boomers for choosing Naruto. Would shuriken be flavored throwing knives or different weapon entirely? I know that flails can be flavored. So all a shuriken does is that you throw it, it sticks, it does damage. It would literally be a dart. It would literally be a D4, be a throwing dart. If you want it to do any more than that, let me look at the. Like I'm pretty sure there's a book that says specifically that shurikens are just throwing darts. But yeah, I would just say it's a dart. Finesse, thrown, D4. There you go. It's a dart. Daggers could work if you can use the shuriken in melee. What's the difference between a throwing dart and a throwing dagger? Throwing dagger can be used in melee. A dart cannot. I don't think you can. Can you attack with a dart in melee? I don't think you can. Like, I don't think you can hold a dart and poke. I don't think you can do that. But yeah, just reflavor this. Just call it a shuriken. Are there any? Yeah, it'd be a dart. Just a D4. Throw it. It's a quarter pound. Does a D4. Finesse. Done. A kunai is more of a dagger. Yeah, so a kunai you might be able to like. No matter which one you choose, they're both the same. They're both a D4. A D4 finesse thrown weapon. If you do a kunai and you allow the kunai to fight, if you're allowed to melee with your kunai, I don't know. If you say yes, then it's a dagger. If you say no, it's a dart. Pretty much that's that. Did I finish talking to your DM? Not really. We kind of sidetracked. The council has settled. All right. Any questions about talking to your DM while I kind of get my head back on track here? Kind of went on a tangent. Yeah, we started talking about anime and stuff. Now I need to see Kilbrew being pedantic for a few minutes straight. Actually, Kilbrew would do that. Page 41 of the DMG has darts reflavored as shuriken. Nice! I knew I saw that somewhere. The DMG has it. How do you deal with rowdy players or players who don't come talk to you, but the other players instead? Just don't run them. I actually had a player like that. I don't run them anymore. I had a player, I'm not sure what you mean by rowdy, but I've definitely had a player that liked to stir up drama outside of game. And I just stopped running them. Like it wasn't like a big thing. I just stopped inviting them. I didn't pull like it wasn't so bad. They just like drama. It wasn't so bad that that kind of just trying to cause problems or wants to just hold up the damn game. Like it wasn't so bad where it was like, okay, you're an issue, you need to go, or you need to stop this. But it was kind of one of those things like, oh my gosh, you've got to constantly be stirring up drama. Fortunately, I'm in a position to where I can be very selective about who I run. I have a lot of people that sign up for my games. Whenever I decide to run a new campaign, I have a lot of people sign up. Also, my campaigns go very fast. As I mentioned earlier, my campaigns go very fast, so I can knock them out, get new players in, run new characters, etc. If I like playing with you, if I love your play style so much, I will invite you specifically back to my games. But if I don't, if you're like the person that just likes to stir up drama or just be difficult, sometimes players are just kind of like, I don't want to run you anymore. It's not so bad where it's like you got to stop. It's one of those like, kind of thing. I hope that makes sense. But if it does become an issue, just talk to them. Just communicate directly. Like I was saying, you're in a relationship with the players. I don't know if you like that or not, like that wording or not, but you are. You're in a relationship with the players. Talk to them. Communicate with them. Hey, I don't like that. Stop it. Respectfully. If you want some context, the Ranger wasn't being a team player and was complaining I was targeting them when they kept going out on their own. I want to join Steely campaign. All right, so I want to join a Steely campaign, but I never can. I do signups. If you want some context, the Ranger wasn't being a team player and was complaining I was targeting them when they kept going out on their own. If I have so if you want a really good, I wish I could pull up. Do you prefer chaotic, talkative players or ones that talk less and when needed? Either one's fine as long as they're not steamrolling other players. I wish I still had my Frost Maiden games because I have a really good example of a player that likes to run off on their own and how I handle it. Basically, what I would do is, and I told the player this constantly, you could probably even find clips on my Twitch page of this because I know there was several times where it was clipped. This player would branch off from the rest of the party and I would just run the rest of the party. Let me tell you something, Klein. Here's exactly how I want you to run. Since I don't have the clip on hand, here's what you do. The party approaches whatever. How I want you to imagine it, Klein, is there's a scene. I want you to determine what the scene is. If a player leaves the scene, they stop existing. They don't exist anymore. You're not never run two scenes at the same time. You run one scene, that's where the party is. It's a cooperative game. Do you prefer Lamau? Very non-answer, so generally just who you vibe with. I don't know what answer you're looking for. Do you prefer chaotic? All right, give me a better description. Chaotic, talkative players or ones that talk less and when needed. Pseudo ignore them? I mean, it depends on how bad it is. If I set the scene, like if the entire party is here and one player is like, okay, I'm going to go do this. I'm going to like leave the scene. I'll tell them like, are you leaving the scene? Like, are you just going to walk? Are you just going to leave? They're like, yeah, I'm going to go over here. Like, okay. So the rest of you that are still in the scene, what are y'all doing? And you can call them out. Like if they're like, okay, well, I want to do something. Well, hold on. We're trying to play D&D. What are you doing? Kind of thing. Like you just tell them outright. If this player is intentionally walking away from the rest of the party so that they can go play their own game, let them go play their own game. You don't even have to focus on the group. Yes, just focus on the group. If you've got like 4 players here and 1 player over here, make a thing out of it. Like if they're like, DM, I want to do this. Like, okay, well, you want to do that. I'm working on something here. I make that very clear. If one player, now let me elaborate. If I have one player that wants to walk away from the scene and do something, I'll just knock it out in one line. If my party, I've used this example several times. If my party goes to the bakery and starts talking to the baker, I'm going to interact. The baker's going to be an NPC. We're going to talk to the baker. If the rogue is like, I'm going to go check in with my Thieves Guild contact, I'm going to say, okay, you check in the Thieves Guild contact, you get this information back to the bakery. If the rogue wants to actually role play and like make a thing out of it, make a scene out of it, they have to bring the rest of the party with them. So tell that to your ranger. Tell your ranger if you want to do a thing, You have to incorporate the party. Otherwise, I'm going to give you one line and we're going to move forward. You said you like to reinvite certain players. Just wanted to know what kind. People who play well or players who are like actors? Oh man, that's tough. I've got a little bit of everything. Like people who are really enthusiastic. Certain players, just want to know what kind. People who play well or players who are like actors? I wish I had a better answer for you, Humble. Yeah. Fun, nice to be around, aren't super troublesome, play well with others. People who don't go off on their own, leave the scene Lamau. Yeah. People who are really engaged. Like all I'm looking for falls on personal preference. The people I'm looking for are super engaged. For one, showing up every time. That's super important. People are super engaged with the game, like who play the game. It's hard to describe exactly what kind of player I'm looking for because as long as there's enthusiasm, you're good. I can handle if a player like gets too ahead, like starts tripping over themselves, like they just get too much enthusiasm or have like really involved to it. That's great. Not showing up, oh, that's like cardinal sin. The best way to not get invited back to my game, basically me, Mr. Shelley, you get invited to my game. You've been invited to every campaign I've run since. What are you saying is basically you? Not showing up? Yeah, not showing up and without telling me. If you give me a heads up, some kind of heads up, we're fine. But the best way to not get it, the easiest way to not get invited back to my game, like to not get brought back to one of my games is to miss a session without telling me. That's so easy. Like, okay, well, that's good because there's plenty of people that'll at least give me a heads up that they're not going to make it. What are you talking about, Mr. Shelley? On the example of what you like, yeah, Mr. Shelley, I like the way you play. Super engaged. You have a lot of fun with it. Who else? Yeah, Mr. Shelley gets invited to my games a lot. And it's like everybody that I continue to invite to my game, like everybody's different. Shelley definitely plays the game different from Ender and Zart. Hell, Ender and Zart and Chepe all play the game differently, but they'll always get invited back because they have a level of enthusiasm that I really appreciate. Yeah, enthusiasm and playing well with others. It's really all I need. Playing the game cooperative, like in a cooperative way. That's all I need. If I die and miss a session without warning, will I get kicked? When's the next sign up? I'd like to throw my hat in the ring. As soon as I got to finish Radiant Citadel first. It'll be probably October. If I do some one shots before then, I'll announce it in the Discord. Where's Homer? Homer! I don't know. He's been kind of quiet. It's concerning. Homer! Homer! All right, chat, you got me worried now. Oh, there he is. He's just staring. He was asleep on the floor. Ever since I got this new carpet in the living room, he loves to lay down in there. He doesn't lay down in here with me anymore. He's all blessing the masses. What are you doing, boy? Come here. I can see. So it's dark in there. So he's in the... You can't see him, but he's in the doorway. It's dark in there because the light's off, but I can see his white spot. All I see in the darkness is this white patch. That's his nose. That's all I can see.
Come here, boy. I wish I could say you, but you can't see it from there. All I see in it's just like this darkness, this dark room, and then there's a white patch with the little black spot that's his nose. Come here, boy. They want to see you. Come here. I don't have a treat I can bait them with. I could trick them, but I'd feel bad. All right, I'll come pet you in a moment. All right, I'm going to kill a stream there. Honestly, even good players have their off days. They may be irritable or need to miss a session or two. Y'all, listen, I'm going to be honest. I'm like, I hope I didn't discourage anyone. I'm not that strict. If you love the game and you love me being your DM, we're going to click. It's going to happen. Like, just watch the session. Watch the sessions. You can tell. You can tell. If you love the game and you love being a part of it, I'm gonna pick up on that, and you will get invited back. If you have an off day, you have an off day. It happens. That's all I'm looking for. I'm super discouraged, and I don't like your channeling more. PP, it would hurt me deeply if I lost you. I'm just thinking you are going to have a mile-long list of people wanting to join. Yeah. So what I'll do is I have a list of people that I invite back, and then I have a list of people that I invite to the game. Discouraged. I'm very sad. All right, y'all. It's okay. So one of two things are going to happen. Either you're going to get in my game eventually. You got to keep trying. Yeah. I'm always running new people. There are plenty of people in the Discord. You're bound to get in at some point. That's right. I'm running new people all the time. There's about 15 people in the Radiant Citadel game that I've never run before. And a lot of them are like just super active in the Discord. Like if you're super active in the Discord and super active in the chat and I see your name regularly, I'm going to want to get you in. Like Tim is pretty active in the Discord, pretty active in the voice chat. He pops in the streams. I want to get him in a game just because he's been a part of the community for a while. Ronan, for sure. CEO, I would love to get in. Klein, you're awesome. You've been really, really talkative. If you stick around, if I see you a lot, absolutely. I think it's fun to play and help new players. Facts. Hopefully I actually find time to apply. But junior year starting up soon. Got me worried. I've seen you in here a lot, humble Ronan. I get nervous talking to you. Don't even worry about it, bud. Yeah, there's Tim. I knew Tim was in here. Tim would be lurking. All right, y'all. I'm going to kill the stream. I think we got 3 good videos. I don't think I did enough of talk to your DM. We may be able to make a video out of that. We'll see. Be on the lookout. We've got at least 2 videos. I wanted to cover rolling dice, but my throat's killing me. I'm ready to get off here. So you folks have a wonderful night. Tomorrow is D&D. We're going to do one last chapter 3. Approach My Feet version 2. Be tagging you. Awesome. I run the Radiant Citadel 2. We started today the Sins of the Elder. In a few months, I end my 4 Icewind Dales campaign. Thank you for all that. Jessica, your name looks familiar. Have you commented on a video before? I think I've seen your name. I'm glad they're helping. Good night, all, especially Nathan. Go look at some dogs. Yeah, let's get in the familiars and pets and look at some adorable pets. I'm gonna go pet Homer. Surely he needs a belly rub by now. Y'all have a wonderful night. I will see you all tomorrow, hopefully. Peace out.